VG Gaming there. We'll send Lanham down here to sort of help 11 out at least as much as this Naga Siren can and try and harass MTMRman back. Make sure that MTMRman can't get too heavy with the harassment onto the offlane Bat. Ori in the middle lane.
If you can get level 2s on these two heroes, on Bat and Naga, you can threaten kills onto the Broodmother. It's going to be up to Matu how he decides to play the lane, and we'll see how much impact it has on the other lanes too. Because we will see soon, we see the adjustment here by Paparazzi especially is he's getting flak level 1 and he's trying to push out the lane.
And look at this up top. KuroKy immediately finds the Sad-Eyed Tormentor, goes in with the purple blast onto Fenrir, but it's in fact GH the one being chased down. Miracle's there to make sure that Lanham can't persist. So they will keep one another safe. But you can see as well with Liquid, with that warding, keeping good control of this area, making sure that they've constantly got this camp for KuroKy to get the creeps from.
I think I love the way that VG's taking this approach though. The level 1 flak, just like the panel was mentioning, just like Blitzko always says, is the problem with Dealing versus Chen is that he double waves you and then they dive you with the creep. But look at this, they're putting so much emphasis on pushing the wave out.
They may have got the creep, but indeed Lanham, he has got the Shadow Word heal, helping him out as he'll look to try and run this one away. The tree comes flying through. You'll see Kuro. Oh, he grabs the creep to get the Purge slow. Kuro there with a play, setting up to hold Lanham down. He'll turn with the net, but this surely is going to be your first blood as Liquid chase. They get the kill.
Oh my god.
That ward control, Kuro making sure that the creeps are there that he requires. We saw him take the Sad-Eyed Tormentor there earlier. He leaves the little one there. He knows that it's going to come in use later, and he gets that set up for first blood with it.
Both games that Vici were able to take from Liquid, they actually did ban out the Chen, and this could be a reason why. Kuro has been absolutely on fire with this. And because of the rotation now from Lan M, since he went top to try to make sure that they don't get crushed in their safe lane, we now see what's happening down bottom. Matu is taking a bit of control of the lane in last hits. And it gets scarier and scarier as the levels progress.
Does 11, trying to do his best with a Firefly, but Matu just enough speed on these spiders really to keep them safe despite how many sticky napalms build up. Very hard for 11 to farm them with the amount of micro control that MTMRman can have. This movement speed on the webs, keeping those broodlings more than safe.
You know, I did say I love the flak cannon, that they're trying to push the wave out constantly, but Paparazzi's really suffering in top already. 12-9 on the tiny 4 last hits on Gyrocopter.
This is going to be a very slow game indeed for Paparazzi. He needs sort of kills really to get back into it, but with the way that Kuro's just controlling this half of the map on his Chen makes it very hard for VG Gaming to make any sort of play up here, especially with these constant rotations from GH as well. GH just making sure that there's all the space in the world for Miracle to find the far bottom lane. MTMRman, he's going in onto 11 with the Firefly and does have the haste rune. He's looking at coming back across, but 11, he's got to be careful there, nearly gets nuked down. Will survive, GH comes in with a roll, but that haste rune keeps 11 safe. So both of those bottom lane heroes really going at each other 1-for-1. And to be fair, the Bat still finding good farm down here. 22-6 on MTMRman, but as you can see over on 11, he has got 20 for 2. Will be chased down by GH, comes in with the roll slow, does have the boulder smash, setting up for MTMRman to close the gap. He's got the nuke, another web is popped down as they'll continue to chase 11, getting beaten down by the spiders as it's too much for the Bat. Liquid get a second kill.
Clean rotation by GH. Now that they see the GH was bottom though, they're looking to maybe move on Miracle.
Yeah, I've got the wraparound from Lanham, looking for the body blocks, the Shadow Word bringing Miracle down low. Paparazzi coming in, there's the root, they've got the Rocket Barrage, Miracle will fall. VG Gaming get themselves the first kill on the board for themselves.
A much needed one for Paparazzi.
GH
not mid.
He's got the body blocks as well. Kicks back Ori, Ori does have the double siphon. So we'll be fine from this sort of harassment, can't out-sustain it. Mind control, seeing if he can get an opening back in on there with the slows. Or he keeps his distance.
Always the beauty of the Death Prophet pick is when you do get ganked like that, as long as you got Spirit Siphon charges, you're able to turn those around. But now he is going to be limited. 26-second cooldown on Spirit Siphon. They can try to punish this.
Yeah, or he came back in on this. He's got to be careful. Mind control. Nearly bringing him down. Lanham is there to just stop mind control going in too heavily, but Ori is going to have to make the slow and painful walk back to base potentially. Oh, the shrine's back up. Okay, so we'll head to the shrine. But nonetheless, still a bit of time when he's out of lane. And so far, he was matching the CS of the Viper, but this will give mind control a bit of a wave advantage.
Neat little approach bottom by 11. He's actually stacking the hard camp heavily so he can keep that farm versus MTMRman's Broodmother, but Matu's trying to contest it.
I mean, I'm looking at 11 as well, and as I say, despite going down once, he's still managing to farm in this lane.
Yeah.
He definitely isn't suffering as much as we've seen some of the matchups against the MTMRman Brood. So 11 definitely playing to his best here.
maximizing as much as possible, and this is really because of the bottle that he's picked up, so he's able to abuse those bounty runes a bit.
Top lane though, the tossbacks there, they've managed to get the control onto Paparazzi. This poor old Gyro, who was already massively suffering going down, he's only got 12 CS at 6 minutes in Paparazzi. This lane is an absolute write-off really for Vici Gaming. They have to rely on the other two cores to sort of create the space eventually to be able to bring this Gyro back into the game.
The fear of this Chen, and look at bottom, Matu.
Oh,
is he just gonna get 11?
This Spider, as soon as he gets that medallion, just bang, onto the Batrider, runs him down, and the physical is just far too much. Yeah. I mean, who do you send to this lane now? Now that the Bat is dying that quickly, this lane is a bit of a no-go zone. But at the same time up top, that's a zone as well that Vici Gaming are trying to hold their best in. But as we've seen, Paparazzi, he's just not being allowed to hit the creeps because of Miracle's tiny.
I think you just said it yourself, though. It's a no-go zone. I think that's the problem when the Brood Blast pick comes out, when you don't have great counters to it, is any of the heroes that they put down there can get dove. So I think they just have to be able to respond with TPs and outnumber this Brood very heavily. But anyone who goes down there, they're at risk of dying. And they're already starting to adjust the lanes. They feel very pressured now. See Ori's positioned bottom, they put the Naga mid, and 11's trying to make movements on the map to make up for Paparazzi suffering so much in that top lane. Level 4 on the Gyro to almost level 6 on Tiny.
He does have level 6 on 11, but obviously with his skill build, no point opted to be dropped into the lasso. So sort of limited really in the options that you can make in terms of a play. You can start to look towards KuroKy, but KuroKy, he's actually looking to go on to Fenrir. Now we'll start to back off as the sticky napalms from 11 do build up. He's going in with the Firefly 11, Miracle with the toss. Paparazzi getting held back by the micro there. KuroKy stuns up Paparazzi. KuroKy does get affected by the flame break, knocked back. KuroKy pops the stick charges, not enough. He will fall, but bottom lane, Ori, he's being chased by the spiders. They'll lose the Death Prophet down bottom. So Liquid will not mind losing the Chen top. And mid lane, Lanham getting dove upon. He's got the route to buy him some time. Stick charges as well will keep Lanham safe. Mind control TP's back to base after that attempt. But as we're seeing, it's really is what we're saying. You just cannot go to this bottom lane. Matuma Man will run you down. Core support, whoever you are in this lineup of Vici Gaming, you just can't stand toe-to-toe with this Spider. He's already got 2.2k gold on top of the medallion Soaring. He's going to be incredibly rich. He's queued up a butterfly.
He's queued up a butterfly.
Mean, he could really go for whatever he wants now at this stage, Matuma Man, and he's still killing anyone on the map.
Yeah, it's normally just the Desolator and just the minus armor build, or that Orchid that we see pretty commonly.
Top lane GH tries to close the gap onto Paparazzi. Ori has come back in. First Siphon will be wasted as Matuma Man instantly breaks it.
The Bat's still farming fine, so they're really just going to need pretty much the Bat to get a Blink Dagger, and that's the way that they can actually deal with this Broodmother, because other than that, I'm not seeing a way for the moment.
Top lane, GH. Looking towards Paparazzi, already Fenrir, he's TPing out of this. He does not want to be a part of this top lane. This wraparound that's coming in, KuroKy and the gang looking to push in onto this tier 1 tower. VG have to be very careful about how they take this. Paparazzi still level 5, doesn't have the cooldown. He'll do his best to push the creeps back out with the flat cannon. Shoving forward onto Miracle and GH as well. But without these ultimates, the team fight of Vici Gaming is truly lacking. And Liquid just have this upper hand. They're 9 minutes in, they have a 4k gold lead.
Yeah, they need level 6s and they need the Bat Blink. That's the way that they can come back in this one. Just this Brood is an absolute menace. He's just claiming the whole bottom lane, taking all of the jungle creeps as well on the side too. The right side of the map is pretty much his. Matu, the Brood.
It's definitely looking to go exactly how Liquid would have planned when they picked that final pick Brood.
And they're having the other lanes go great as well because of the pressure they're causing. They're forcing movements.
Ladham getting chased down. He's level 5. There's no chance for a Song of the Siren. Silenced up as well. Liquid just claiming kills wherever they want to roll.
Matu's like, oh, okay, I'll just come take mid now. I don't have anything to gain for the most part.
And he's still racking up his gold. I mean, as we said, he's got the Butterfly queued up, but he's got so many options on this Brood. Who knows what he's going to invest in? Could go for the Radiance, the Dagon, or say the Desolator. We'll see what sort of fun Matuma Man wants to have. Has 4k gold, just held in the bank of the Spider, and that's the scary thing. He doesn't need to spend it to be able to kill any of these heroes. The fundamentals of this hero are enough to do away with Vici Gaming's lineup in mid lane. GH looking for the roll in, tries to go for the setup, does get the 2-man silence, and there the Spider's bringing 11 down low, but 11 does get the chance for the lasso. Holding GH in place.
Matu.
Paparazzi's trying to move in. They've got the root onto Matu, but Matu turning with the lifesteal, able to bring down the bat, but Matu is falling low. Can he keep himself alive with that lifesteal from the insatiable hunger? He's still alive for now, will be healed up by the urn. They've lost two on Vici Gaming. Boulder Smasher and GH comes through onto Lanham as they're chasing down a third. Liquid, they'll kill 3 of Vici Gaming, and Vici can barely put a dent onto the lineup of Liquid. 9 for 2, 7k lead, 11 minutes in, top tower is going, and I don't think we're seeing the spider again this series.
I don't think we're seeing the spider
we're
anymore.
There's no way that Vici Gaming let this through again.
They've pretty much won every single lane. Vici, they need to get their level 6s. They need this Blink Dagger on the bat. They have it now, but Lasso was expended. They were quite close to actually bringing Matu down. He was stacked up 4 times by the sticky, and they closed the gap on him, but with GH and Mind Control there, they didn't have enough to take him out.
11, he's looking towards the top lane, but he doesn't have Lasso for 40 seconds. So very unlikely to be able to make a play. Matu still yet to spend his money. He's looking at those items, wondering what he wants to go. We may see him just buy the full-out butterfly as sort of just for the psychological threat there. You see this spider, 1 minute he's got nothing, and 1 minute he's got a full butterfly. He's getting very close to that point.
Like you said, though, he doesn't need anything to kill everybody just at this point still. And look at Vici. They're all around a circle inside their jungle. They don't want to play anywhere near the Broodmother. They're like, bottom side is completely hers, cannot make the contest. And it does look like it is going to be a Yasha and a quarterstaff. So he's going to get both the butterfly and the Yasha very soon.
Oh, it's Mind Control, Yasha.
Oh, it's Mind Control, yes. Apologies. So there's going to be just a full butterfly.
Yeah, he's just getting the butterfly. He's, yeah, as you say, just a couple of 100 gold away from having enough of the Talisman and the Eagle Song. So that'll be there. So this 12, 13-minute butterfly. The toss in there with the stun will be reacted to by Lana.
They've got all their ultis ready.
They do. They could look for the setup here. Here we go. Is it going to be enough? They look towards GH. They've got the control with the lasso, dragging and holding in place Miracle. Miracle will fall. GH tries for the TP out. He's not going to make it. Vici Gaming, they'll get 2, they'll get 3. Double kill for Ori. That's the combo that we talked about.
That's what they need to do.
Absolutely. They have to do it a fair few more times, but the potential is there.
If only it had shorter cooldowns, because they did get that one out, but it's still pretty early in the game, so everybody's back up within 20 seconds, and now the sleep is down for 130 seconds, Rock is down for 140, even the Exorcism as well, so now it's Liquid's time to kind of punch back. Vici, though, slowly climbing back after that one. They need that to be executed perfectly every single time to take advantage. I can't believe he went full butterfly.
He did.
the earliest butterfly of all time. Could it be?
Let's see this combo again. So as we saw, Liquid getting a little greedy there as they were looking to try and move in onto the gyro, but this is what we're talking about. The sleep always going to be the perfect setup for this huge team fight that Vici Gaming have.
Slowly inching Paparazzi back in this game. He's still bottom 5 net worth as this gyrocopter.
Oh, and they're going to be even further behind as well if Liquid get away with this. Straight into the pit with that butterfly and Matuma Man. They can do this very, very quickly.
No way that Vici can contest this. They've expended everything.
Impossible for them to get into the pit. So 14 minutes in, the momentum will continue for Liquid as they'll grab themselves the Aegis onto Matuma Man. This invincible spider now has to be killed twice. It's going to be a very, very tough ordeal for Vici Gaming.
They just have to wait for their ultis to be back online for them to take fights. They have to play away from the Broodmother and just kill the rest of the heroes for the most part, unless they can actually isolate Matu and bring him down twice. But it has to be away from any of the towers, because that's when the TP support can come in. And it has to be away from the Chen, because that's when the send home could really play a big factor into it all.
Top lane, the pressure looking to come in from Liquid. They've got all 5 heroes inside the jungle area of Vici Gaming. Ready to back up Mind Control with his push. GH and Miracle smoked up at the moment. Miracle with that newfound Blink Dagger, ready to catch out any member of Vici Gaming if they dare come forward.
Vici just has to play as a unit. If they start running around individually, that's where the Brood just shines. And I don't think Liquid's going to stop here. I think they're just going to go for breaching the high ground. They're looking to get a catch. Miracle's still smoked up. They are able to get a tower bottom without having to expend any ultis, so Warlock ult is in 5 seconds. They've got the max upheaval skilled as well. So they could look to take a fight here.
Let's see if they can find that setup. They need that perfect song, but look at the positioning. Liquid Making sure to keep some members on the back lines, but the front lines will be jumped on immediately. They come in with the lasso, Miracle with the response, gets the two-man avalanche, but they have the root. They've managed to get the damage down. They bring down Matuma once. They have popped a lot though. Can they kill him a second time? The rock gets dropped onto Miracle and Kuroki. They're looking for the send back onto Matuma, but it won't come out in time. The sleep comes out. Vici Gaming, they found Matuma for a second time after the Aegis. Miracle will get the blink out. Kuro left behind. Kuroki will fall. Vici Gaming, can they get more out of this? 11 trying to chase forward. GH with the roll away. Miracle, can he get the blink off in time? He can't. The root comes out. He tries for the TP away, but they have the Yule Scepter to cancel it. Vici Gaming, they'll take Miracle's life as well. They're pulling a defense together again with these ultimates online. It's happened twice now that we've seen Liquid try to play into these ultimates. And I'm sure they'll start playing more carefully because each and every time, as we've seen, it's giving Vici Gaming this chance to swing themselves back into this game.
And it gives them a lot, in particular in the experience. They start to catch up heavily in that one when they go for those fights. They do have to commit every single ulti in those fights, but they have to. It's absolutely worth it.
Just bit by bit, knocking back that tempo that Liquid are achieving. So there we go. So, since TI5, the earliest butterfly picked up on any hero. I mean, there's no surprise. I can't remember the last time I saw anything even close to a 20-minute butterfly, as I said the previous record was, but Matuma,
13 minutes, just about, right?
13-minute butterfly.
But we've seen the power of Vici's lineup. But just like everybody was talking about, like the panel was saying, they still do have that big sleep wombo combo with the Warlock. We saw Newbie use this one at Genting as well, and they're executing it to perfection. They're halting Liquid for that big Roshan push that they were looking for.
Matuma just trying to get himself closer and closer towards that BKB. Will be very, very important when trying to push into this combo that VG have.
Yeah, it's going to be BKBs all around the board here for the chorus. Paparazzi has one queued up. Ori does as well on the Death Prophet.
4 staff now as well on 11, so great way to get the grab and try and peel one of the members of Liquid away, at least try and get them far enough away that Kuro will be unable to get the send back with the Holy Persuasion.
They have to watch themselves now in Vici, because now it is GH with the Blink Dagger, so he can counter that initiation pretty heavily as his Earth Spirit. But they do almost have everything available for themselves again. 20 seconds till Song until Chaotic offering it up, and they're looking to just take fights with it. Smoke is ready.
Here we go. So the last 2 times we've seen this combo work out for VG, it's very much been Liquid taking the fight to them. We'll see if they can pull it off the same when it's they themselves looking to get that jump. 11 leading the charge as they cross around mid. Liquid are in their jungle. Matuma on the high ground, the smoke will be dispelled. Liquid are aware, jumping from GH, he's looking towards 11, they'll get the stun off, he will force down to the side, the Song comes out. Same time as the Chaotic offering will set up for the cooldown to come down onto 2. They'll already be able to find one, but Mind Control, he just turns with the Viper Strike, able to destroy this Gyrocopter. The Siphon, the Yules keeping this DP alive. They'll be able to find Mind Control. Matuma trying to move in, does have the damage here with this right click from the Butterfly. They chomp down 3. They have lost 2 on Liquid, but Liquid, they're coming out on top. They're trying for the chase down onto 11. They have got the catch here. GH rolls forward. He looks for the angle, finds the stun with a smash. Matuma gets the double kill. They'll find 4 members of VG Gaming. And as we saw there, the combo just that little harder to execute when it is VG Gaming looking to start the fight on their own accord. And maybe sort of the questions are, should they have better stayed and waited once more for Liquid to mess up? Because now the combo's gone. Liquid, they have the majority of members alive. They can go in for the push without too much worries.
Liquid were very prepared for that movement that time too. You saw GH, he actually did blink and didn't cast his stun and missed his magnetize at the start of the fight, but it didn't matter. With the sustain coming out from Matuma with that insatiable hunger and the Butterfly, it was enough for him to just tank for the brunt of all the force.
Quick tower and a safe send back there from Kuro will keep Matuma out of trouble. A nice little micro there as well from the Summoner as he manages to hold back land, and that might actually buy enough space. Oh no, it doesn't look like it will. Ori's there with the wraparound. Kuro will be punished for that attempt up top, but they get the tower. 20 minutes in, they're able to open up the base, open up those shrines for the taking Liquid, so they can continue to maintain control of this map. As 20 minutes in, they do still maintain that 7,000 gold lead.
Still does feel like Vici lacks a little bit of damage even in the fights, but they do find GH here.
Quick grab here with the lasso and with the damage from Paparazzi. They'll take a freebie.
They need
13 to
Paparazzi
12.
to get as many little kills as possible like this, because he's still, we saw in that last fight, he just gets comboed down and brought down so quickly by the Tiny.
We'll try for the upheaval slow there onto Matuma, but with that web movement speed, far too speedy to be held back by that sort of slow. Bottom lane, Paparazzi sending to clean out that bottom lane and get himself closer and closer towards the BKB. Very close to having it now. Will certainly make all the difference. Even though it was good prioritization from last fight, Mind Control just immediately popping the Viper Strike out onto the gyro and slowing down his damage output. VG certainly keeping the game going against this Spider.
Still on a bit of the back foot, they are just heavily relying on their ultis, so they have to be very careful to not get caught down while those are on cooldown. And they will all be back up right now. Warlock ulti in about 5 seconds, so they could look to make another smoke play. They want to ideally look for the GH or the Broodmother grab. They have to be really careful to not get counter-initiated.
Paparazzi showing himself here in the mid lane. Liquid keeping themselves grouped up as a team up top. There will be a smoke coming out from VG. They'll look to once again go into the jungle. They have all these ults up. They're going to try and find that perfect setup. Liquid fairly grouped up. They get the grab onto Matuma. They drag him straight back into the cooldown, into the chaotic offering. Do they have the damage to bring down the Spider? They do. Matuma will fall. Miracle comes back in with the counterplay. The Magnetize is out as well from GH, but GH loses his life. They've found 2 kills. They move towards Miracle. The Siphon from this DP doing so much to help out the fight. They've found 4. Kuro's going to get caught out as well. The net's there from Lana. VG Gaming. They're making the comeback. They're holding on to this game.
The upheaval in the backline there from Fenrir. They even start pinging him right away. Kuro's like, we can't move in the fights. Upheaval just limits us completely.
I mean, VG, a lineup that's been looking stronger and stronger throughout the course of this LAN.
They didn't even have to use the song setup there. It came naturally from 11 getting the insta grab on Tomatu.
If they're able to outplay and defeat a Matuma Brood, and a Matuma Brood that had a very, very good start, it's going to be quite something. But here, she said the setup.
Look at Fenrir in the backside here. He just starts channeling upheaval, and they can't actually make their way out of the fights. Look at how slow Mind Control and Miracle are moving. They actually just can't distance themselves in the fights, and Ori he just stands his ground with Exorcism. He's got him. He's perfectly fine with all this type of fight.
Yeah, perfect Siphon usage as well. He had all the charges ready to go, and the fact that they clean up everyone.
Yeah, and now Lanem has a Meteor Hammer. So
this
they've got
game,
even more combo.
It's getting into scary territory for Liquid. They had such a sizable lead. But these wombo combos from VG are certainly bringing them back into it. Remember it. Just get the heal off, but unlikely to be enough. A quick tree toss to the backside from Miracle will take out the Warlock.
I think Liquid's going to have to play a little bit more split up now, especially when those ultis are around for Vici. It does seem to be a bit too much of a problem for them to be grouped and get caught by multiple initiations like that.
VG seeing if they can get the grab onto that Spider once more.
GH.
Looking towards that Earth Spirit. Quick boulder smash comes out, won't find the connection. They look to split up. 11 with the blink up to the high ground will be fine. Backs himself up to rejoin the rest of his forces. VG just holding back, holding on once again. No point fighting without the big ults. 12 seconds before that Exorcism's there. They have managed to find the batter on the side. They're trying to go in on Kuro. They've actually got the silence, the root, the hammer comes down, cancelling the TP. They've found 1. They've got the BKB popped by Paparazzi with the sleep. They're looking to set up for more. They'll surround the Viper. Kuro is going to be focused by 11, jumps forward, gets the kill onto the chair. Mind Control, he's surrounded. Double kill for Ori. They've found 3. They've got the root holding the Spider in place. VG, they're doing it absolutely again and again. The homing missile onto Matuma. Triple kill for Ori.
Wow.
They are doing it here. Every single team fight going the way of VG.
And this time, they didn't even have to have the chaotic offering. The fight just kind of came naturally to them. They had Lasso at the end there to grab Mato. And now, Exorcism with Solar Crest. Easy Roche, Aegis Cheese for them. Liquid getting rattled.
This is quite a sight to see here from VG. They get Roshan, Aegis to Paparazzi, and now they are the ones with that net worth lead. To see this team dismantle a lineup so confident with that final pick Brood.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. And it's a lot of fun to see because they're doing it in style. They're doing it with these wombo combos.
Look at that experience graph, Owen. Look at this plummet.
Now the question is, let's see how Liquid can play from being behind with this Brood. Top lane Miracle does get the jump in onto 11. 11 quick with the Yule Star, Force play as well. He's going to have the Blinker available straight into the trees. He's out of there. They can't catch the back. Things getting a little slippery for Liquid here. It's those kills that they need as this game, as we're seeing, it's just slipping massively into VG's favor. I mean, this is the question. When you are the Brood, surely you expect to be ahead. You dominate the laning stage. You look for the quick and easy win. But at this stage now where sort of the force of VG, your opponents, is building up and building up, you've got to sort of, how do you deal with this as a Brood mother? Do you just go for the split push? Can you still turn up to the fights?
They've got to change the style that they're playing at now. Now they have to be able to build toward the late game. They were trying to close it out like you were mentioning, but now they have to make the adjustments. They have to itemize differently, and they have to be ready to see those backlines. Because under most of these fights, it has been Vici with the vision advantage as well. They've had wards down. The fights have been taken when they are on the high ground, and Liquid were majorly on the low ground. So get those BKBs for Liquid. Try to get the initiations themselves without getting initiated on, because that's also the problem, is that Vici's getting the jump on them in the majority of the times. And they've got a Blink Dagger now on LaNem.
So there we are. There's one of the big BKBs out for Matuma. Level 18, so he's got those 3 points in there.
Ultis are ready for Vici.
And they're sort of baiting it out with Paparazzi. The rest of Vici hovering behind the Gyra. We'll see if Liquid take the bait. VG actually wrapping around offensively in front of Paparazzi, looking to sort of sweep across and catch any members of Liquid that are hiding here. They spot out the army. 11 knows there's people there, jumps in immediately, gets the grab onto Kuro. Kuro looks like the rest of his team will just leave him for dead. A quick, safe, tactical grab from 11. Rips Kuro apart from the team. And as you can see, it's exactly what you said. Liquid, they're changing the playstyle. Mind Control, he sat up top. Miracle, he sat down bottom. They don't want to try and take fights as a team unnecessarily anymore.
They can't take the 5v5 fights until they've got different items. Until they've got the match community, which will help them at least disengage a bit. 5v5 is going to be way too hard. And, you know, there's an Aegis and Cheese too, so it does make it a bit more difficult. Miracle bottom, though.
They've got the setup. TP's coming in. LaNem looking for that timing. He's got the Meteor Hammer coming down into the instant silence. They surround the Tiny. Miracle tries to play his way out of it, but the Siphon and the silence holding this man in place. Miracle will fall. The split push is punished. 5K lead for Vici Gaming. Honestly, I think in the first 10 minutes, we all thought this was going to be another one of those Brood games. We were saying, you know, we're not going to see the Brood again. If this game continues to go this way, Vici Gaming, they're just going to turn up game 2 and say, go on, pick your Brood.
They've executed perfectly in all their team fights, just responding to all of Liquid's aggression. They've even gone for the Midas on the Warlock, so they're feeling very comfortable now. Completely caught back up in the game. Paparazzi went from bottom 3, bottom 4 net worth. He's now top 3.
Yeah, this is amazing. The recovery from this Gyrocopter, he's less than 1,000 away from having a completed butterfly.
Yeah. And like Ori as well. He was having a little bit of a rough time, at least in the laning phase, but then as soon as the fight started happening.
They have found Ori on the side, but the instant BKB looks for the turnaround. They were able to get the lasso again onto the Spider. Matuma held in place. The Hand of God heal. Oh, the send back is enough. Kuroki will be able to save Matuma life for now, but the rest of Liquid in trouble. 11 chasing him with a Firefly. They found Kuro. They found GH. GH will fall. Kuro as well. Matuma is saved, but the price to pay, the 2 support lives of Liquid, as the lead just continues to grow for Vici Gaming, and Liquid show no signs of being able to stop it.
It's been all Vici's game for the past about 10 minutes or so with all these setups, just executing their ultis at perfection. And they're just claiming full map control too, because they picked up an early gem after all these 1 fights. Ori is 12, 2, and 10 on the Death Prophet.
Straight up top, the push with that butterfly, nice and quick for Vici Gaming.
Here comes 11 again. He's just looking to clear the wave though. Lasso is on cooldown for a second.
Some of these grabs from 11 have been amazing. As we sort of said in the laning stage, sure, he got picked off a couple of times, but the farm was there. They made the lane rotations, and now each and every fight, you don't need to rely on the combo from Vici Gaming, because they can rely on 11 to find these quick grabs so they can sort of pick apart Liquid one by one without having to overcommit with the ults.
And it was the Bat Rider in the last series that they played versus Liquid that really led the charge. It was 11 again. He's just playing it perfect on this bat, finding actually the perfect grabs every single time. Finding Matu when he had that Aegis top, finding GH in a couple situations, mostly singling out the Brood though.
Oh, look at this Liquid. They're ready to go. They're smoked up there themselves now. But again, this is going into pretty much every ult apart from the Exorcism. So it's not an easy fight. There's cheese as well on the Death Prophet. We'll see what Liquid can fight it, but there's definitely potential for VG to find the turnaround if Liquid don't find the perfect angle of initiation.
Claiming high ground here. They might be able to catch LANM off guard.
He is going to walk up into this one. He senses something.
Oh.
Doesn't want to go blindly up into the high ground. Will still have the jump forward from GH, trying to move in with the play. It's going to be the chance for LANM to get the silence off, though. BKB comes out from Matuma, but the rest of VG are coming through. They've got the route through the BKB. The cooldown, it comes out onto 4. The chaotic offering as well. Catch it onto 3. Silence onto GH. Jump forward again. 11, he's got the grab. They've found Matuma Man. Matuma Man, he's surrounded. He's trying to run himself away, but he won't make it. ComBoOo, they're using the send back, I believe, onto GH, so Matuma Man could not get back to safety. He's gone for 60 seconds. ComBoOo gets caught out again. And this, it really does feel like Liquid are crumbling. Every single thing that they're trying in this game now just is not working.
It just seems impossible to take fights into VG's lineup. And something about Dota right now is you have to eventually be able to take a fight.
Oh, look at 11. He's even seeing if he could maybe set up for more Miracle. Just far enough away to make it. But they've got the creeps moving in down bottom, VG. They're onto this tier 2 tower. And he really does feel at this point, VG, with the ultimates available, the exorcisms online, they can waltz up to the high ground, and there just isn't the team fight on Liquid to push this effort back. Here we go. 32 minutes in, VG ready to attempt to break the base. GH and Mind Control having to keep their distance. The tier 3's mounting. Old 11 again comes in with a quick grab. They find the Viper. Miracle's trying to jump in and help out with the root through the BKB, holding Miracle in place. He's falling down to half health. ComBoOo's trying his best to help with this effort, but Miracle, he's falling so low. The Yules throwing up into the air. They'll chase towards ComBoOo. ComBoOo, he'll die, he'll fall. Double kill for Paparazzi. Godlike for Ori. Liquid are falling apart. They're being forced back to their base. VG have the area, and GG is called. Ladies and gentlemen, what a game one for VG. And I gotta be honest, I know there's a lot of Liquid fans out of there, but I'm sure there's a lot of fans happy that we're probably not gonna see Brood and Viper again because VG just absolutely destroyed them.
11 is just absolutely on fire in this with this Batrider, and the way that they played, it was picture perfect with their ultis every single time. They always found the right opportunities. It didn't even feel like they really had a cooldown. It seems like Liquid were unable to take advantage of these 2-minute cooldowns every single time. VG, perfect uses of smoke, perfect execution, and perfect grabs every single time.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw there as well. You knew from that draft, from the way that Liquid were playing at the start, they planned to close this game up in 20, 25 minutes. But it was not the case here. VG Gaming came to play. And I've got to say, the exciting thing for me is that game 2, Liquid, they've got to step it up. They've got to bring out something better. And we know that they can. You know, this is Liquid. They're TI winners. They've definitely got more tricks up their sleeves than a 5th pick Matuma Man Brood.
They crushed all 3 lanes, and they still, VG were able to punch back that hard. That's got to rattle ComBoOo quite a bit here.
It really does. This game 1, ladies and gentlemen, of a series that is absolutely going to heat up, I can guarantee. Game 2, though, Fogs, quick calls. What are you changing if you're Liquid? Are you banning anything from VG? Do you take away that 11 back? Because that was a pretty phenomenal performance again.
I think maybe it might actually just be the Death Prophet and the Batrider. In combination, the way that they played around these 2 heroes, sure, they were under-farmed, but that's the one thing the Death Prophet can always provide you. You might be under-farmed, but if you get a couple levels, your Exorcism will always do that substantial amount of damage in team fights.
Wow. Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 is certainly going to shake up Liquid. We'll see what they can come back with as an answer in Game 2 as VG Gaming take the lead this series 1-0.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, a very, very good victory for VG Gaming in a game that one person backstage said was unlosable for Liquid. Our panel members are back with us once more. Will?
What's up?
Was that an unlosable game? Well, it obviously wasn't, but it should have been, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Dota players, we just like to speak in hyperbole. Like, when we say something's bad, we say it's garbage, right? Yeah. And it's like, if something's good, it's the best. And so,
do nothing hero.
Yeah, do nothing here is like, it's just how Dota players speak, I think. We've all been there, but this should have been a pretty hard game to lose, but the team fight aspect from Vici was way too strong. Like, something I want to talk about is how we talked about in the pregame. Vici, they're always willing to fight. And I think Liquid, oftentimes, they're the ones catching the teams unawares. Like, they're the ones that'll 5-man first. Well, Vici and Chinese teams in general, like we saw that with Newbie as well, they are always willing to meet you every step of the way. You think that there's one hero showing on the map, you go to gank him, there is 4 people behind him at all times. That's what the general player sentiment has been around this Vici team, is that nobody is for free at any point.
That's why Newbie was actually so good versus Liquid, especially with the Naga Siren, and here we see it again with Vici Gaming, always being able to set up their team fights with the Naga Siren. No, like as you said, like no pickoff is ever really safe when you're going up against this team. One big thing was the BKB timings for Liquid. Just, unfortunately, Matamba Man, he goes for the early butterfly because he's like super far ahead. He gets the Solar Crest as well, or I think it was just actually a Medallion of Courage. And he starts building into BKB, and they get into 3 really bad fights in a row. Still does not have that BKB. Unfortunately, that item was pretty necessary to be able to avoid the initial like lasso into pull into Spirit Siphon and the magic damage coming out from the Gyrocopter. Then by the time he actually gets it, the physical damage of the exorcism is too much for him.
The hard thing, though, I think, is he felt like he needed to be the guy to hit the tower. If you looked at their lineup, they didn't really have a tower hitter. It was basically either Viper, who does not do good tower damage right now, or the Brood himself. So I felt like he rushed for a Butterfly, even though it's typically a second, third item, never the first, never that early like the stats showed. Because he needed to be able to hit the tower, he needed to be evasive against the tower, he needed to survive. They had a lot of magic damage. Yes, maybe he goes BKB, but then he would just be dying to tower damage and right clicks and exorcism. Took a lot less just because of higher armor. Maybe a teammate gets a medallion and he rushes BKB, and then that works out. They get the tower, maybe they get the racks with the Aegis, but it didn't work out like that. The butterfly was not enough.
You mentioned a man when we were talking about MVPs, is Fenrir. Another great game.
I mean, he channeled Upheaval this game. It's hard to say like, wow, amazing Warlock performance.
I mean, it's not like you go, whoa, but
almost every other game that I saw him play, amazing. I think he played this game very well. I love the Upheaval plus Naga sleep combo. It gives you time for your Upheaval to ramp up. So as soon as it's off, people are moving. And he could always sit at the back lines. Basically, all Vici had to do is get to the point where their cores could stay alive for more than 10 seconds, and they would definitely overpower and deal more damage than Liquid's lineup. So.
Also, being able to get an instant stun outside of the Naga Siren sleep thanks to the Meteor Hammer is a little strong.
Good.
Yeah, very good indeed. Will, how do Liquid bounce back from that? What are they going to be talking about backstage?
They need to be more patient. Like, that's the one thing that I know that they garnered from that game. It was the same in the game 2 against Secret when they just ran up the hill, didn't really think about it. Like, they needed to be a little bit smarter about their high ground engagements, because oftentimes I think the problem with this team is when they get ahead, like oftentimes we see them when they're behind, they're so strong because they know how to play that high ground advantage, but when they're ahead, it feels like sometimes they're sort of lackluster in that regard. Like they rush things or they overcomplicate things a little bit too much. If they're more patient, I think this game goes a little bit differently. Like Kevin said, I actually completely agree with your analysis of the butterfly, but knowing that then you still have to wait for a BKB, because BKB is like the ultimate team fight item for a Broodmother. Otherwise, you saw every single time she gets kited. And if she has BKB and she gets it off pre-lasso, it's still okay to get lassoed at that point because the right-click damage isn't there and you have Butterfly. But by rushing those fights, it makes it so awkward for her.
So what do you think would be the better solution? Do they just take that Aegis and hold it and just map control and farm for another 10 minutes, then grab another Aegis when they have BKB and then go high ground?
Yeah, I absolutely think that's what they should have been doing. I think they were caught a little bit surprised in the first fight, which was up by the tier 2. I think they just actually didn't expect VG Gaming to contest the way they did. But then the subsequent fights around that dire jungle area still happened, still did not have those BKBs, and those were crucially important to be able to survive like the initial strength of the team fight before the physical damage actually gets too much. Because I think the magic damage was like, the reason it was so important is because they were able to deal enough to the Broodmother that they were able to finally finish him off. He has the BKB prop. As the lasso comes in, they don't deal that magic damage. He just pops his ultimate and turns and fights, and once he latches onto somebody, there's no real way for Exorcism to actually deal enough to counteract the lifesteal that he's getting out of it.
All right, I'm going to stop you there. We could carry on for plenty more hours discussing this game. Very, very tactical game between the two teams. And, well, you heard what Will said. It should have been a winnable game, but it wasn't in the end for our boys from Liquid. Instead, our men from Vici Gaming have taken game number 1. We're headed to a break right now. When we come back, we will have game number 2's draft upon us for semi-final number 1.
Going to try and find that perfect setup. Liquid fairly good, so they get the grab onto Matuma Man. They drag him straight back into the cooldown, into the chaotic offering. Do they have the damage to bring down the spider? They do. Matuma Man will fall. Miracle comes back in with the counterplay. The Magnetize is out as well from GH, but GH loses his life. They've found 2 kills. They move towards Miracle. The Siphon from this DP doing so much to help out the fight. They've found 4. Kuro's going to get caught out as well. The net's there from Lana. Vici Gaming. They're making the comeback. They're holding on to this game.
future's far away, but I'll stay, I'll stay. Just take a leap of faith, we'll find a way for you and me. Can't look back and run from what I feel inside. There's no more time to hide, because I feel again, I feel again. Oh, now I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. Now can we try to fight against the grain of throwing out what we made? The future's far away, but I'll stay, I'll stay. Because I feel again, I feel again. Oh, now I feel again. We're bringing this back to life. We're picking up where we left off and on again. We never quite could forget, 'cause what we got so intense. I feel it again, I feel it again, I feel again. We're bringing this back to life.
second draft. Just before they come back for the second draft, just a quick reminder that we have the Play Faster moment by Vodafone to come a little later on. Wonder what will feature inside that. Maybe it'll be the speedy panel that we've got. Or not?
No.
No?
No.
No.
Considering the fill time?
You guys are definitely not going to fill. You're not going to feature in the Play Faster moment. Sorry, guys. It's
Yeah,
just
we
not quick enough.
filled for quite a while.
If it was
I think that's the
Fill
opposite
Faster
of speed.
by Vodafone, you guys would be rocking it right now. You'd be MVPs. You'd all be going home with Mercedes-Benz.
I would love for that to happen.
I don't think that's part of the criteria. Let's look forward, gents, to the second draft. Lots of questions for Liquid to answer now, isn't there? And it kind of puts them on the back foot in the draft. How do they bounce back?
I think their draft was actually it was pretty okay. I think it was more just the decision-making in-game where it felt like they rushed things. But I think the draft overall was fine. They just...
I don't mean that the draft was bad in the first one, just that it's given them more issues now because Vici have shown they can play against what they've just thrown at them.
Yeah, I think...
Less options, perhaps.
Look, I would love for them to ban Naga Siren.
Yes,
Yeah.
Seriously,
that is the
I
one
think that hero
adjustment, yeah.
just gives you way too free team fights.
Yeah, it took them 3 games to ban that, Kevin, in the first series, didn't it? They've got to knock it out now, surely.
I think they or at least were able to beat it in the lane. Like, that's what they proved with the Chen.
Right.
But by the time they got to the mid game, and once they made that one mistake, all of a sudden Naga just really pulled her weight for the rest of the fight and the rest of the games.
Here it is,
ban rider ban.
draft number 2, and we do get a ban on the Liquid side as long as with a Bane. And no surprise to see the IR, there's 5 consecutive games against Liquid, they've banned that.
And that was actually another significant thing about the Batrider, is that his lasso was instrumental in locking down Brood in a couple of those fights. They traded lasso for Aegis, and in a couple other fights they lassoed him while they killed him pre-BKB. It was actually really significant despite losing the lane.
And it was such a strong start to every single team fight, being able to get the lasso into the pull of the Death Prophet, who has Exorcism out at that point in time, sets you up for a Spirit Siphon, maybe a Silence as well. It was just like every single team fight started, like every single one that they won, which is toward later into the game. It was like such an amazing start for them because of the Batrider. In fact, Fog specifically ended that cast talking about the fact that, look, the combination here just seems too good by Vici Game.
I think that Vici is playing like how normally Liquid plays, in the sense that they're not getting rattled. It's the enemy team that normally makes these crucial game mistakes against Liquid because they're afraid to play against them. Well, Vici, it feels like they're willing to take every single fight, and they're not scared at all. Like, they don't care about the hole or the deficit that they're in. They just continue to battle. I really like that overall from them. And I think that Liquid has to be a little bit more patient this time around. Like, the general rule of thumb, of course, you shouldn't always follow this though, is the first Aegis is meant for map control, so that you don't have to force things. You don't really have the items to go high ground quite yet. The second Aegis with the cheese is generally where you want to go for the high ground after that.
We don't even see teams like Complexity, who are kind of known for trying to force things. Even they chill out on the first Aegis, so it was pretty surprising that Liquid were kind of ensnared.
I feel like if EG didn't 2-0 those teams in record times the other day, I feel like Liquid would have cooled their jets. Like, they saw other teams stomp, they're very confident because they're so talented. They had such an advantage, they felt the advantage, they really thought they could take the push. I feel like it was something like that.
Yeah. Really like how far this Vici squad has come since like the beginning of the year where they got 2-0'd by SG.
Yeah.
And now they're in a position where they could potentially just 2-0 Liquid, get to the finals of their... I mean, how many times in a row have they been in a finals and lost?
They've been in 3.
They've been in 3.
During the DPC, yeah.
So the talent is clearly still there.
Yeah, they've always just fallen a little short at the end of a tournament.
And they're not drafting too differently here. They open Elder Titan, they let the Naga go through, and they'll grab a Viper.
So do you think, Kevin, that's like, again, to address the laning phase and how to beat the Naga Siren? So instead of Chen, we're going to have ET. Kind of, it is one of those heroes that definitely wins you lanes.
Yeah,
but the Chen wasn't too bad in the first game. In the laning stage, was it?
But Chen falls off. You know, Chen in late
Sure.
game is not so good. Chen, at most, could send somebody back and then be like, all right, kill me next. Let my allies go, please. But Elder Titan at least can win the lane. It's not as convincing as Chen. It doesn't allow you to push and disable as hard. But he can definitely out-bully the Naga Siren. He can also provide a really strong team fight and anti-team fight, which is something you might need against Naga.
Is the fact that they haven't banned the Naga suggestive, perhaps, Will, that they feel like whatever they play in place of Naga is worse?
Yeah, I think they think that Naga is not the problem.
Right.
And the crazy thing is if they lose to it again, that would be, I think for a lot of fans, they'd say like, well, why didn't you just take out the Naga? But I don't know how, like, this is something that probably have to talk to KURO directly to like figure out why they think what's happening is happening.
And I'm not saying KURO is this way, but captains do have that blind alley they go down sometimes saying, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. And it just becomes one of those things that you just can't move past, doesn't it, sometimes?
Oh, for sure. And that's something that all fans should know, is that it's never as clear as just like, oh, this hero is in and it's the consistent factor, so that's why they lost. Like, these guys are really good at evaluating most of these games. But of course, they're not infallible, and the great captains especially are very prone to this kind of stubbornness.
And again, they get the gyrocopter. Good BKB core, which I think is pretty important here. Again, we talked about the timing of VG Gaming and the Chinese teams in general. They get the Death Prophet again.
Run it back. Woo.
Yeah,
Same
well,
game.
this is basically 3 games out of the 5 they've played at this event. They've started with the same 3.
Okay, well, there's no initiator that gives you the same kind of advantage that Bad Rider does with the Death Prophet. So at least that part of the strategy will be a little bit worse.
Yeah, that's basically what they've identified here, isn't it? Pull the bat out, it doesn't have the same effectiveness.
Are they going to brood again?
Yeah, well, why not? The brood wasn't the issue, was it?
A little maybe. But
yeah,
not
I mean,
really.
like
No.
like you pointed out in terms of itemization and timing and what have you, but early game it certainly wasn't.
The problem with like items like rushing butterfly and stuff is it doesn't really, at that phase of the game, it's so early, it doesn't feel like it makes as big of an impact.
Just give them a Jakiro this time round.
It's
They've
like
got a building.
It's like an attack speed and armor and evasion item. That's better when you have more HP.
Oh, they're gonna go Disruptor.
Yeah. You know what game that reminded me of? That I don't know if you guys remember. It was Fnatic versus Liquid at TI6. They were really far ahead in game number 2, and they had like a Sven lineup against Dro, and they had an Axe. And instead of going for BKBs, like both MC and Matama Man decided to go like Heart and stuff.
Yeah.
And they just got crushed in every single one of those
They're
fights.
like, we'll get those later game BKBs.
Yes.
Those are the real game winners.
Just one more damage item. This will be okay.
Okay, so
We'll just kill him faster.
would you have still been fine if Disruptor was on VG Gaming here?
Yeah. I
So
would have been
you're
okay
still
with
set on that, like, it's fine, you've got Viper.
it. Yeah. I like Disruptor a lot though against Naga. It's like one of the best.
Yeah.
How about the clock?
The clock, it matches up really well against the Elder Titan and the Viper. It's pretty annoying to play against, but it's meh against the Disruptor, although it cancels the Jug.
It's a big Fenrir.
Isn't it kind of bad against Viper? Why do you think it's good versus Viper?
It's okay. You force him to get like 4 staffs.
I feel like Viper has plenty of money to spend though. Like he got SNY last game. I'm like, does that even help? I don't know. Might as well have been a Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, Pike would have been really nice that game.
At the least, it could threaten Viper getting killed easily in a 1v1. I think is one dangerous part. But later, yeah, I agree. It's not Clock's just okay against Viper.
And we haven't actually talked about, is this Clock the other support? They just run it
You would think so.
kind of
They
4 or 5 positions.
usually run it as a 5.
Yeah, I think there's no way that's off lane.
Lanham has played it a little bit. Fenrir's played it a little bit. In fact, Fenrir's played quite a lot.
That's so cool, by the way. Like with Vici, Mikasa's just sitting in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
He just
And telling everyone to shut up while he decides the bans.
We were walking by their thing, and he has like a laptop set right in front of the players, and they pretty much just watch him the entire time, and he's just pointing at various things, saying like, "Look at this."
A jug for Liquid now. Interestingly, it was this game last series they played each other that Vici Gaming pulled out the jug, and Paparazzi had an MVP performance on it.
Yeah, Jug's very good against Gyro at most stages of the game because Gyro usually rushes the fast BKB. Omni Slash cuts right through that, so that can be a nice advantage. Same against Death Prophet if she doesn't have Yules.
And that's exactly what Vici did to Liquid last time, because it was Liquid that had the Gyro Disruptor ET.
Do you think
Vici used the jug?
are we set that this is a mind control last pick, or are they going to give like Miracle a different last pick?
I think that's a miracle jug. Okay. I think you give Mind Control more of a playmaker than you do in the Viper last game.
He seemed to do fine, but yeah, I agree.
I mean, this is just like, if they pick up their offlane mind control hero, it's just a whole lot of fighting, not necessarily a whole lot of tower taking possibilities here, and they're just like directly contesting Vici Gaming
Like, the way that I see Liquid's lineup is they're picking a very similar draft. They're just focusing it a bit better for teamfight and late game.
Yeah.
Like, Jug can win the early game and push really hard with healing ward. Viper can win his lane, push, but the supports are more teamfight focused, so I figure you grab a ganking off lane, something that can set up those late game kills. Because they don't really have a good initiator. Okay, completely wrong. Win the lanes and push, I guess.
It deals direct pure damage against that gyrocopter. Hates that. Hates it. Death Prophet can at least like Yule Scepter for a little bit when it comes to that single target focus.
She's pretty vulnerable too. Like, there's not very high HP heroes on Liquid. In a lot of the games, we've seen like tanky strength heroes against Death Prophet, but now it's mostly agility heroes. The only tanky one is really Viper.
Yeah. What do you take here if you're Vici? You take like NP or something to try to...
What about Ursa? Can they fit that in any way?
Offlane Ursa?
Works good against Viper, against Enchantress, against Elder Titan.
I thought you would just give more sustain to your Death Prophet and Gyrocopter against this single target focus of Liquid.
Oh.
An AA.
So it is
switch.
offlane Claw?
Yeah, yeah, has to be.
Or
Femra is
could
the
be Naga.
only AA player in the team. So that will be an offlane.
Ooh.
By the looks of things. Your friend
That's
11
interesting.
will be clocking it up, Cap.
I always
has that
like him on like super aggressive heroes. I don't like him so much on like the Enigma, like
Yeah.
slower, like
Yeah.
big. I want him.
You want something in their
there.
face.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
he is sick in that regard.
Okay. Kevin, which way are we going?
I think I'm gonna go with Vici Gaming again. I am not the biggest fan of Enchant, and Liquid has very few stuns.
Okay. Blitz.
I'll go Liquid again.
Okay.
Vici Gaming, similar reason to Kevin. I feel like there is actually so much magic damage they can lay into this Enchantress. They're gonna shore it up with Elder Titan, but I just don't have faith.
Okay, all right. Well, you do have faith because he's on the right team. We are headed back to our commentary duo who are ready to bring you our second game in the semi-finals. You ready for this, gents?
Absolutely. You know, game one, we saw sort of the power of Vici Gaming. Game two, as I said, I'm expecting Liquid to sort of step it up to another level. They got beat down pretty hard after what was a dominant laning stage in game one. So this game two, they've changed it up. What do we reckon, Fog? Do you like what approach Liquid's taken this time?
Yeah, I do like what their approach is. They're looking more to pressure the lanes more and have a bigger advantage. They didn't go for this cheese this time around, and they did heavily focus on 11. I think he was the biggest problem in that last game. They also thought the same thing. They give them the Naga, they give them the Gyro, they give them the Death Prophet, but they took out the Bat Rider early on. So I'm actually looking forward to see what 11 can make happen as this clockwork.
Absolutely. One of these offlane heroes that we sort of see be very hit and miss. A lot of people, a lot of pros favoring it in the position 4, but as you said, with the way that the draft went, VG maybe potentially feeling this was one of, or if not, obviously the best option in their mind left in the offlane pool for 11 to get his hands on.
It is that super aggressive fight starter. So a little similar to the Bat Rider, you're not about mispositioning them, but you're about just engaging and starting those fights. And you're always going to get something in the offlane is the nice thing. You can cog block the wave, and you'll be able to get a decent spot for yourself to get an actual position and get some farm for yourself in levels.
But the thing as well, of course, for VG, last game, they got the victory this game. They do have 3 of the same people on the same heroes, the Paparazzi Gyro, the Lanham Naga Siren, and the Ori Death Prophet. Obviously a bit of a different game, Liquid changing things up quite a bit. They do have more potential for those team fights now with Kuroki and GH having a much heavier team fight presence with the Disruptor Elder Titan combo.
Yeah, I see Liquid this time, and I'm like, all right, this time they're not just trying to cheese their way to victory. They're going to just try to outskill them. And we've seen Liquid at their top performances. They are absolutely incredible. But Vici's been putting up unbelievable fights.
Yeah, this is what we want to see. We want to see Liquid tackle VG Gaming head on with some
Hell
proper Dota 2, and we've certainly got it with these lineups. You can expect a lot of battling, a lot of fighting. We'll see how much sort of contest we see over getting favorable lane matchups. At the moment, nothing really too surprising from Liquid.
11's going to try to just pull the wave here. Got to be a bit careful. He actually goes for the Rocket Flare level 1 to pull the wave.
I'll go for the kinetic field to hold him back some time, but of course won't put a stop to the way that 11 will still be able to get the full pull and get that entire creep wave round to his safety.
Yeah, it seems like they were just like, you know what, it's a clockwork, 760 HP, even with spin, even with any type of harassment, they can't kill him. So Kuroki's just going to follow him, give him some annoyance, and Miracle's just going to last hit under the tower.
So looking at the other lanes as well, any lane in particular that they think a certain side's going to struggle?
Mid we've seen is kind of a trade between the Viper and the Death Prophet. DP just is hard to gank. So I think the top one, the Gyro in theory should struggle. The Gyro and the Naga Siren if they start getting chased out too far.
Top
GH
lane.
has to be careful here.
They do. They've got that chilling touch here, and with the root control as well, they surround him. That's your first blood for VG Gaming.
Don't think he expected the level 1 net.
Absolutely not. Normally that Riptide being held onto by the Naga Siren, but Lanham there with the outplay.
Yeah.
Has the required skill, the required time in that.
And also a really excellent approach coming out from VG is blocking that hard camp. This is something that we've seen time and time again, is when you're playing versus that Enchantress, the best way to deal with it is to block that camp. And also, not even just versus the Enchantress. A lot of teams haven't really taken this approach, but versus the Elder Titan, if he doesn't have that camp to actually stack up and abuse the Spirit to get that damage, you're actually able to take such big advantage of the lane. So I really actually like this approach by VG in the safe lane. So I do take back what I said, actually, and I think that Mind Control and GH will have some trouble here until GH starts to stack up the Astral Spirit.
Winning some of these stacks up, but so to build up that GH punch, as he will look to try and move around the lanes a little bit. Bottom lane, Miracle CS still pretty much perfect. 11 trying his best to disrupt it, and 11 is getting decent farm out of the lane himself, as we can see with that 9 to 5 on the clockwork. So those early level from that early level from the pull through certainly helping out the clock keep good. Mid lane, the go being made up to Matsuma. The root comes in. Ori and Lanham close the gap. Fairy Fire will be popped. Is it enough to keep him alive? It's not. VG give themselves the second kill with the rotation of Lanham. And in a lane where Matsuma was already suffering, 14 to 6 against the 7 for 1. And it's one of those awkward positions because last game we had Mind Control Viper mid, and I'm pretty sure he was actually trading even CS.
He was dead even.
Yeah.
The Death Prophet.
Matsuma struggling there in the 1v1.
Getting the double null on Ori this time around, giving higher base damage.
They are going fully in onto Paparazzi. They've got that enchant slow. GH coming in with the right clicks. Paparazzi will be brought down. Now they turn their attention towards Fenrir, but Lanham's there with the root, holding GH down. GH trying to get himself into the tree line to safety. Will escape, has the salve as he gets himself back up to full health. Will be cancelled by the illusion. He's coming back in. He's looking towards Fenrir, trying to punch this AA down. One more touch from Mind Control will do it, but Mind Control is rooted up. Kuro's come in to try and help out Mind Control. They've got the Astral. They look for the sleep stop. They catch both, giving time for Liquid to attempt to disengage, but the TP across from Fenrir. He's back in the game. Looks towards Kuro. Kuro with a quick glimpse back, taking Fenrir back up to that top lane. Kuro's now surrounded by Ori. They have the kinetic field down for Kuro, trying to get himself out of there, but the damage is too much. He'll lose his life. Mind Control has the sad eyes looking towards Lanham. Lanham will be able to get himself away.
Kuroki makes the approach and just decides, I'm not punishing this clockwork at all bottom. I'm just going to leave Miracle in a 1v1 and pressure the other lanes. Got to make up for the rotations that Lanham's been doing. And they were actually able to take a little bit of advantage and go for that paparazzi dive because they did stack those camps. So the Astral starts adding up, and they were able to actually find that one creep for Mind Control, that Wildkin, to make the difference.
Mind Control now able to get a bit of CS as he looks to try and close the gap. Another blast onto Fenrir, bringing that AA down low. Kuro was looking for the glimpse play.
Once they get more levels on the Enchantress and the Elder Titan, it starts to become a much safer lane for them to pressure paparazzi.
And they're looking for the setup onto Mind Control. They have got the homing missile inbound. Lanham looking to close the gap with the root. The kinetic field's down. We'll put a bit of a stop to VG's play, and GH is there as well. He'll turn towards the three of them, looking for the setup with the Stomp. Has found the vision onto Fenrir. They'll get the glimpse back. They surround the AA. They punch down one, but the play's coming back from Paparazzi. Rocket Barrage. Enough to dispatch of GH. VG find the 1-for-1 trade. Support for a support. Overall, though, that main sort of play benefiting Liquid. The disruption, it's slowing down the farm once again for the Gyro. Sure, we saw last game Paparazzi making the recovery. He's certainly going to have to do so again. As bottom lane, Miracle against this clock, having no trouble, finding pretty much free farm. 30 CS on this jug at the moment at 5 minutes in.
Levin's finding a lot, though. He's going to have a very early level 6 on this clockwork. I believe he's getting close to phase boots, or he already has phase boots as well on the clock. I think they're flying out around on the courier, though. Yeah.
Top lane, Lanham. Got the vision onto Kuro, root as well, buying time for the cold feet to kick in. Paparazzi's there with the wraparound to pick up the glory. Gets the kill. This combination, this Lanham Fenrir, AA, Naga Siren being very active very early on.
Yeah, 2-2-2 on the AA, 1-0-4 already on Lanham. And constantly putting vision up. That was the biggest thing for me in the last game in particular, was the way that Vici was able to just fight around their vision constantly. And they are actually able to spot out that Liquid puts a ward up top with their first initial one.
I mean, I guess the question is, as well as you say, 11, he's had this fantastic farm down on the bottom lane as this off-lane clockwork. Is he just going to be full-on looking for the plays now? Level 6, who do you ideally want to be finding now as this clock?
The Viper. You can transition into a push too. We see that Ori has skilled up the Exorcism, so they could easily look for a dive play here. KuroKy is in position for it though.
Yeah, we'll be there ready to quickly glimpse back the clock.
They're pushing in the wave heavily though. They lose the siege creep, but they're still looking to get aggressive.
Let's see if they can find the angle. Matsuma Man is going to get run out here with the battery assault. 11 saving the hook shot so that he can go back in after he's glimpsed out of the play. They do find the 3-man sleep though. TP's coming in, Miracle with the Blade Fury turning towards Ori, looking for the chase down onto this Death Prophet. He's going to jump in instantly with that Omni Slash as he pops the mango, has the mana for the ult. They get the trade there, a mid for a mid between these two teams. But overall, I think Liquid, they'll be slightly happier there as they do shut down that Death Prophet after she's popped the Exorcism.
15 seconds into the Exorcism as well. And now this gives space to Mind Control, because the way that the Naga Siren's been running around the map all the time, Enchantress is able to get so much top because of those high levels in Untouchable and high levels in heals. Once the level 6 comes out, Paparazzi's going to be really in some trouble.
GH back up here, ready to put the pressure on. You've also got Kuro back in the neighborhood, looking for potential wraparound. They'll go for the sleep setup onto Fenrir, but not looking to dive in as of yet. Mind Control, a few creeps away from having that 6, then he can look to start to get more aggressive. Bottom lane.
Miracle's looking for him.
Nice. He won't be able to find. 11, TP's out. Unbeknownst to Miracle, as Miracle didn't quite have the vision for him, but a quick sweep of the tree line will confirm the suspicions that 11 has backed out of the lane.
11's just relentless in this series. Again, he instantly has Clockwork Hook shot up. He instantly TPs to the shrine. He's looking to get aggressive and punish top lane.
Look at top. They've already got a homing missile on Mind Control. This wraparound coming in indeed from 11. Looking for the rundown onto GH. He now makes a beeline straight away from Mind Control, trying to cause issues for this Enchantress. The cold feet kicks in. Paparazzi still alive. Shooting down to the Thunderstrike and will do. They lose the gyro, but VG, they find the Enchantress in trade. 11 looking for the chase down. Still has that hook shot. They found the vision onto KuroKy. The sleep stop though from GH holds back 2 of them. Ori's still trying to dive. There's the hook shot from 11. They close it onto Kuro, and look at 11. He's already looking to try and sweep around for GH, but GH too speedy. GH will make it away. Bottom lane, Miracle continues to farm. Quick TP back into the game from Paparazzi as he heads down there to put a stop to this push. Ori being watched by GH.
They're putting a lot of pressure on Paparazzi, just like the last game. You see he's bottom 5 net worth already in the game. It's going to be all up to Ori and 11 to really make the moves and just catch that gyro back up, or getting through those team fights. You see them now moving the DP a little bit and actually having Naga take mid to get some levels.
I mean, so far so good from 11. These rotations on the clockwork being very, very nice. And we're seeing as well just sort of the composure. He runs in, he doesn't blow the hook shot at this start. He makes sure that he can save that until the very end of the gank to sort of help find that second kill. Now he has got the urn done.
It's really smart the way he's been saving the hookshot. Just like you said in the mid lane. He's waiting for those glimpses, those ways to kind of mess his movement up so they can close the gap afterwards.
Miracle down bottom. He has got the invis, and he also has the Omni Slash. They're looking for a target. The big one would be Paparazzi. There's the glimpse, trying to let Miracle close the gap. There is a creep wave, so Miracle will wait for that, but the invis wears out. Paparazzi knows what up. It might not save his life, though. The Blade Fury clearing down these creeps, bringing them down low, and Paparazzi separated, and there's the jumper with the Omni Slash. The bounce isn't good. Miracle will find the kill. The root comes out, but GH is there with the sleep to hold back Lanham. Healing waters well up for Miracle, so Liquid will stand strong and get away with that kill.
Paparazzi's really sad in this game. He has to pretty much come back through team fights now in this game, because the way that all the lanes are set up, he doesn't really have a home.
Top lane.
Top now, though. 11
straight in with the control. Mind Control, he's stuck. The cold feet's going to kick in. The pushback from the cogs. The slow but sure slap down with the spanner from 11 finishes him off as this clock continues to make the plays. And then Ori. Straight in, Viper Strike from Matsuma Man. He's looking at manning up. They have got the Blade Fury damage as well. Yeah, Miracle with this haste rune just zipping straight into the middle lane. Takes down Ori.
And he runs right back bottom.
Clarity back ticking up as he looks to refuel himself. Miracle certainly stepping things up this game. 4.8k top net worth at the moment on the board.
They're just looking to continuously punish this gyrocopter. Look at mid. Disruptor's already here for the glimpse.
He's found the setup here, straight back into the stomp. There will be the cooldown coming out just in time, but the damage from Matsuma Man and Kuro is too much Paparazzi will fall yet again, the 4th time on this gyrocopter, as Liquid continue to punish the carry.
Non-stop bullying.
Tries to go for this smoke there to create that extra bit of speed, but it gets dispelled immediately. KORO, I don't think he's getting out of this one. He hasn't got a TP. Lanham and Ori will be there. So KORO will fall quite deep behind enemy lines. Will try his best to spend up before he goes down. Top lane mind control, continue to farm, of course going straight for the 4-star in this game against 11's Clockwork.
When Fenrir's got 6, they've got the kill here.
Oh, and straight in. They've got the setup. Hook shot. There's the Ice Blast flying in onto mind control. No sort of heal's going to save him. And again, these sort of combos, whether it be between Fenrir and Lanham or 11 and Fenrir, they get the job done every single time. Okay. Stomp not going to quite catch onto Ori. Miracle, he has got the Omni Slash back online once again.
They've definitely still got some Jug and Viper problems. They're at top of the net worth board, and Paparazzi still not even close to being recovered.
And Miracle, of course, with his phase, Yasha and the Keeler before getting the Battle Fury, giving him this potential to fight at this stage. And quite the potency. Anyone that he jumps on with a quick Omni Slash and then the movement speed with the Blade Fury chase down, thanks to that Yasha phase boost, he's going to find the kill. Ori,
Mid lane.
he's going to be jumped on straight away. Miracle just playing so aggressively here. This Jug utilizing his advantage. BG, they have got the wraparound, they've got 4 heroes here, but quick with the Blade Fury, Miracle just starts to chase down 11. They've got the Stomp already into the Static Storm. They're managing to set up and surround Lanham on the Naga Siren, who will fall as well. The Viper Strike slows still onto Paparazzi. The glimpse from 11 taking him to the side. The Clockwork's in trouble. They will throw the Ice Blast down to Miracle. Miracle will fall. 11's still alive for now, but Tummerman and GH trying to focus both Fenrir and Paparazzi. 11 will learn up. They'll actually keep the rest of them alive, and now VG, they're looking for the turnaround. Homing missile, cold feet onto Matumberman. Ori's back in the game. He has the silence onto GH before the Stomp comes out. VG, they'll turn the play around mid.
They catch Paparazzi back up heavily, needing those 2 kills. 24 kills in 13 minutes.
And it's this sort of coordination that brought VG back into game 1.
Yeah.
Team Liquid, they've got to be scared of these sort of plays coming through, because VG are so damn tight with that team play.
Yeah, they have to be careful of. They have to be really careful of the comebacks because of the low respawn times that are at 13 minutes. They actually ran out of mana on Matu there, and they find a solo pick off there from Fenrir.
KORO just getting caught out multiple times now as he tries to come out for these warding missions. He's got to be careful. 15 to 10. Liquid still with the net worth lead. As you can see, all 3 cores of Liquid ahead, and Miracle very much so, as he still leads with a sizable advantage to the top core of VG's lineup on this Juggernaut. And that last death that he had in the mid lane, a little bit painful.
Yeah, Liquid's gonna have to itemize with multiple 4-staffs here to deal with this Clockwork, because he's been having a great time. And it's gonna be a really good 4-staff game anyway, because if you look at VG's side, they don't really have a whole lot of disable besides that Clock. It's Clockwork, Hookshot, and Naganet, and besides that, their catch is pretty minimal.
11 on that hunt, but knows that the 4-star is now there on mind control, so we can no longer sort of go for that Hookshot Ice Blast play with the tag team of Fenrir to get that kill. Mid lane Miracle, Omni Slash back up in a couple of seconds. He is nearing on hitting that level 12, so ideally we'll do so before the fight kicks off, but the fight's already here. They've got the setup, the sleep, the Death Prophet Exorcism coming out as well. Ice Blast thrown down straight away onto Matumberman. He's trapped there, but Miracle, he gets the chance for the Blade Fury. He's looking for the chase down onto Paparazzi. Paparazzi will fall. Miracle, he levels up the ult, jumps in with the Omni Slash, the extra bounces, getting in the kill on Ori. They've got the Stomp down as well. Fenrir will fall. Miracle will lose his life. But Liquid, they've found 4. They've got the glimpse back. They're going to find 5. 11 tries to TP out. He's not making it home tonight. Liquid.
GH in the perfect positioning there. Everybody slept on the side of Liquid, but GH says we've got that mechanic as well. Sleeps everybody on Vici. Him and Kuroki get the perfect setup in the back lines there, and they're able to turn the fight. Just like you said, Omni Slash gets leveled up at the last moment there from the kills. So he's able to get the extra bounces to finish up the kills there. Absolutely perfect there by Liquid.
We'll see it again. Just sort of this commitment at the
Stomp
start.
on 3.
It looked like it was going to be great for VG, but not dispelling the song straight away meant that that initial Ice Blast damage didn't hit onto the Viper, so Matumberman was safe. And look at Miracle's prioritization. Straight for Paparazzi, levels up the ult, jumps in those extra bounces, allowing him to get Ori. And then, as you say, Liquid's there with the backup. GH has got the setup, and then the fight's over.
And again, and this time they have the 4-staff, so they distance the Viper into the backside, so he's not able to get bursted down, and the whole fight turns around into VG's face.
4K lead now for Liquid. Still though, a very close game in a match where VG, they have shown the potential with this team fight once again. But Liquid, 11 off the mark there with that hook shot. MMR will get a free pass for now. But a lot harder for VG to sort of go for that team fight, as we're seeing with the Juggernaut. Really seems to be the crucial pick here. A hero that can react to that sort of setup. He's got the Blade Fury. He's got the ways to play around. Lots of damage coming out from Miracle. He's closing in on that Battle Fury.
It's a hero that's just so damn good versus Gyrocopter, because there's just nothing you can really do. If he just runs at you a spin, you just have to run away yourselves. Omni Slash, of course, is going to eat you alive. You kind of have to take a halt here until they've got Exorcism and Sleep available again.
Ideally, they want that BKB to be there on the Jar as well, but that is going to have to take quite a few more moments for Paparazzi.
I like the item adjustment by My Control this game too. He's recognizing that Vichi's damage is pretty much strictly magical besides Exorcism at this point because of how shut down Paparazzi is, so he's actually going for a BKB on Enchantress.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, who's going to right-click him? Sure, the flat cannon can still be a bit of an issue, but obviously with a Jar at this stage of the game, there's no way that the right-clicks from him outdo the heals that the Enchantress is going to have from her attendants. And Ember, he's been caught out on his own. Will turn with a quick Ice Blast, but that will be the death of the AA. Ori actually trying for the counterplay here. He's chasing this with the Exorcism. The Crit Swarm bringing MTMMR down low, but he can't quite get a lockdown. MTMMR's going to be able to get out of there. And that's Exorcism being blown, and it's not going to get anything productive done with it.
Kuro glimpsed 11 completely out of the fight there too, so it looked like Vici was trying to set up, but their only real catch, like we're mentioning, it's majorly on 11 to make those plays. So as soon as Exorcism's popped, they have quite an easy way to disengage without that clockwork there in position.
That's that Battle Fury for Miracle. So already this Juggernaut that's a clear 3K ahead of the Paparazzi Gyrocopter. He's going to get even further ahead now as the farm will step up that extra bit more.
And they know Exorcism's down right now too, so they can take advantage of that. They can try to keep punishing Vici.
Smoke up, 11 will be found out. Kuro waiting for the perfect time to make sure that the control can be there to get him into the field, and he also knows that the song's coming through. There's the glimpse back, holding 11 close to the Juggernaut, not quite close enough. VG, can they do anything off the back of this sleep? It doesn't look like they can. The silence will come out to one VG. They have Paparazzi heading forward. They're looking for Miracle, but Miracle turns with the Omni Slash straight into the midst of them all. And Miracle falling very, very low. Can Paparazzi get the kill? The Blade Fury and the Healing Ward. Miracle's still alive. And with a sleep stop for GH, they're looking for the turnaround. Liquid, they found two. They're trying for more 11s there with a hook shot. Will hold Miracle back. So VG get the remainder out of there. A 2-for-2 trade there between the lineups. They couldn't quite find Miracle. That would have been such a beautiful kill for VG to get, but they couldn't quite do it.
That low cooldown on spin, able to get it back up in the middle of the fight. And GH, again and again in these fights, he's getting the perfect sleeps on the three main heroes of Vici every single time, it seems.
And the Ancients being stacked up. I believe they've got a triple stack at least at the moment on Liquid.
Wow.
Some more money for the taking, ready for Miracle.
Uh-oh, look bottom, 11. Rotation from MC.
He's on his own, mind control, gonna start punching into him. Oh, they'll get the 4-star play. They're trying to get Kuro out of there, but 11 will still find the kill. Costs him his life though. Gets the support, but loses his life there as the offlaner. A quick Hurricane Pike from mind control, sort of buying the time for him to chase around Kuro and get that extra bit of momentum for him to punch back into him with the impetus. Miracle very close to having the ultimate orb on his way to the Manta style. And it'll be very hard to control in these fights. The root will not be much of an issue for that Juggernaut anymore.
They've had a hard time dealing with the Healing Ward too. Even though they've been getting the AA blasts in the starts of the fights, the fight continues on for so long that the Healing Ward kicks in after that debuff wears off.
Miracle on the hub. 12 seconds and Omni Slash will be there. He's got his eyes onto Paparazzi. He is playing incredibly aggressive, and he can certainly get away with it for the most part. Quick Blade Fury as that homing missile is no issue for the Jug. And Miracle's back out of that.
He was just in there by himself. Vici, they do have Exorcism now available again, and they are getting closer and closer to those BKBs like you were saying. The Gyrocopter, about 1,300 away. Ori, just about the same.
19 to 19, but that net worth difference certainly being the overbearing issue for VG. the fact that those cores of Liquid are really farming just that little bit better. This Juggernaut getting absolutely out of control.
Level 17 on Jug, level 13 Gyrocopter. Miracle having a tremendous game.
Now we'll turn towards those Ancients. We'll put him very close to having that level 18, that third point in Omni Slash. We've already seen how much these bounces do in the fight. Manta style complete as well for Jug. Everything's coming together. VG Gaming, we've seen them turn around from a lot of worse situations as we did in game one, so definitely still with a chance here if they can get that team fight together. Femre closing in on that level 12.
They have to heavily rely on the Exorcism in this game, though, because of Paparazzi being shut down. And this time they don't have, you know, Warlock ulti or anything like that to really just close that combo together. It's a lot harder for them to actually keep the heroes of Liquid inside of the Exorcism.
And look at that as well. They Rocket Flare Bro, so VG know that Liquid's in there, and Liquid know that VG know. But Liquid, they're standing their ground in the pit.
They're coming
VG,
too fast. You know, GH also scouted them with the Stomp
they've got it.
there.
They've got the Aegis into the hands of Miracle. It's gone. Nothing that VG could do to stop it, and now they're going to lose some members. Femre gets grabbed back, does get the Ice Blast down onto Free. But Femre gets chopped down. Miracle picking up more gold for his bank account. As VG just left to split up without their AA. That crucial Ice Blast that they require for these fights to be successful, they have to just wait and accept that these towers are going to be gone for the taking. Liquid,
They need to get like the perfect executed fights, but it's so difficult versus Liquid's hero with the innate Jug with spin, just being able to immune versus the majority of their catch. And they're soon going to have that BKB on the Viper as well as the Enchantress.
and the Jug pick really was
Yeah, the Jug
a big
pick's
one.
really working so well.
A lot of the times as well, we see Jugs being drafted in situations where it just feels a bit off. It feels like a hero that sort of is a last resort carry, but this time you can absolutely see the vision when Liquid picked it, and so far it's absolutely working out.
In particular because of how active he's being on the hero.
Yes.
Sure, you saw he's gone for the Battle Fury build, but getting that Yasha early has led them to have so much momentum into now this mid game, where Vici, they're still just on recovery mode. They're so dependent on that Exorcism.
BKB on Ori. This was sort of picked up around the point where we really saw stuff change around in favor of Vici in game one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he can do with that BKB when he turns up to the fights.
They've got the level 12 on Fenrir now too, so a bit more damage coming in their way. But still looking very hard to deal with just that. It's a majority of that Juggernaut. Everybody else seems like it's tolerable, but Miracle just on a different level this game.
Miracle is pushing out bottom on his own. Obviously, with that Aegis, very hard to punish VG. They will go for the smoke play. Almost only going to sweep round behind. They don't want to necessarily go on the Jug. They want to try and find the backup that Liquid is sending in for the Jug.
The Spirit just hit somebody
It
though,
knows.
so GH pings it out right away.
GH is
aware of
fully
the
aware of this. They're bringing TPs down bottom. Liquid, they probably want to take this fight if they could.
They have to bring everybody down here though. They don't want to take a number disadvantage. Not into Exorcism.
They're going for the quick sweep around as they did go for the scan. Saw that VG came in and out of that area on the high ground at the dice half of the map. Wondered if they'd entered into the jungle, but as it were, VG obviously aware that that Liquid knew of this movement. They just back off. They knew that they weren't going to find anything with that.
Liquid's playing very confident, pushing out all three lanes constantly. They're not letting Vici really group up and take that head 5v5 fight that they do want to go for now, when they do have those fresh BKBs.
There's the Meteor Hammer. Now picked up it on the Naga Siren, so that combo, that setup, and we saw come into play, we have seen come into play many series beforehand. We will get to see once again today. It's Miracle, 500 gold, and he will have that butterfly complete. So as you can see here, Miracle getting a chance to hit creeps that much more, nearly twice the amount of gold that Paparazzi's been able to find from his own CSing.
Unbelievably farmed on this Jug. Vici a bit afraid too, still, because they're versus that Aegis. They don't really want to get caught off guard. They're all sticking as a unit, and because of that, they're falling further and further behind in both gold and experience. It's looking very hard for them to take the fights that they want.
I'm very close to that very sort of dawning point for Paparazzi's Gyro, where Miracle is about double the net worth.
Yeah.
One of those games where Miracle just goes absolutely off. He was not happy with that game 1, and he is very hungry to push this series to a game 3.
He's just walking up on the high ground by himself.
He's got the Aegis. He feels safe. He's got a
He's
full one.
confident.
He's got the Manta. And he knows that VG are going to be very cautious about jumping in on him.
Yeah. And he knows that they're very limited on disables, as we've been mentioning over and over again. Vici now, they're just kind of stuck in their base. You see Paparazzi, he's trying his best to find farm on the map. He's still very far behind, though.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Paparazzi just slowly trying to shove those lanes out, but having to do, obviously, so much more cautiously than Miracle can get away with. As this Jara much more vulnerable to being punished by any sort of rotation.
This time, though, you can feel also Liquid, they don't feel as rushed in this game. In the last one, they got the Aegis and they went straight for the high ground and they got wiped. This time, they've got the Aegis. They're using this as a farming Aegis just to keep that advantage ticking forward more and more. They're now at a 13k gold lead, over a 10k experience lead as well. Aegis does get reclaimed. And Vici, they want to be able to get some catches with 11, but they're just really unable to at this point. He's playing a farming Clockwork where you don't really want to be doing that. When you're playing Clockwork, you want to be constantly looking for these kills, but because of how on the back they are, they can't really make these moves. Liquid just ready to respond constantly.
This certainly being one of the problems why, with the Clockwork in that sort of core position, as you say, not necessarily one of those offlaners that scales that great as the game goes on. You have to make those plays. You have to sort of get that overarching advantage very early. Otherwise, 4-stars BKBs come into play and the clock can just be ignored.
And you can tell that Vici's really feeling the pressure and feeling under the gun. Paparazzi has queued up the rapier.
He's queued it up. We'll see if he gets there. Would be quite something.
He absolutely needs it. They've got their only damage, like we've been saying, it's that exorcism. Everything else is mostly countered by Liquid because they can just distance themselves and kite around that exorcism.
BKB. It's pretty much done for Miracle. One more bounty rune, Matuma Man will be gracious enough to let Miracle take it. And that will be the BKB done. Oh, he's changed it back, the Jara.
He did change.
He's got the butterfly queued up. Disappointment all round. We want to see that rapier. And then 11 gets Tim's back. There's the quick play. Hook shots back in. And after a bit of a dry patch in terms of kills, 11 will be finally there to break it. And shed some bloodshed out of Kuroki's.
It had been quite a while. It's been almost 6 minutes since the kill actually happened on the board. It was just Miracle taking towers, is what it looks like.
Well, this sort of slow pace, as you say, though, definitely favoring Liquid's lineup.
Yeah, with their tri-core. Everyone's staying relevantly farmed too. Sure, you see Miracle skyrocketing at a portion where we don't see
pushing on his
besides,
own.
like, yeah, this looks like
He's
Alchemist
taking tier
levels of
3s on
farm.
his own.
But his other teammates, they're still keeping up in farm a bit. But yeah, this Jug is just
I mean, it really feels at this
unbelievable.
point, the rest of Liquid could sort of DC and let Miracle finish it. He's just that far ahead. The fact that he can go up and take a tier 3 without any sort of answer, like, the rest
It's
of
a
the team
problem.
have done his job. They've made that space for Miracle. You know, the fantastic sort of rotations and reactions to that of VG's plays have led to the point where Miracle's just been allowed to get this incredibly massive.
It's Vici who had this type of Juggernaut game during the group stages too, versus Liquid. Miracle's giving Paparazzi a taste of his own medicine.
And Miracle just keeping
Full
every
bash.
lane shoved out.
Full Basher now too.
got
He's getting items pretty fast. He's almost 6 slotted
it
at
has
30 minutes.
to be one of the most farmed jugs in a while. 800 GPM. The pre 30-minute mark. This has got to be up there in the books as one of the best.
Yeah, and Vici, they're trying to catch back up. 11, he got that solo kill on the Disruptor, but besides that, they just seem a bit afraid to take the engagements, take those head-on fights. Ori is about to be level 18 for that level 3 Exorcism, but they really want Paparazzi to have that one big item because a phase BKB drum gyrocopter is not, it's not threatening.
It does nothing against him. The Basher on its way out. Look at that. He may be level 23, but he says, guys, I need the tome. He's got that out coming to him. We'll see if he takes it. He might give it to someone else.
No, he takes it.
He wants to get that 25.
He wants that 25. He wants those Omni Slash strikes.
That's a lot of +5. That's a lot. That is a lot. Halfway through 24. He's going to get it very shortly as well at this rate.
It does look like Liquid is trying to take a fight here now with how strong Miracle is.
See what VG can do. They've pulled off some phenomenal team fight execution in the past.
They still don't quite have the butterfly finished on Paparazzi. But they've got the level 18, they've got the level 3 exorcism on Ori, and he's pretty much got a Shiva's Guard if he can ever go out and buy it.
Can they kill this Jug? That really is the question. Paparazzi, he's scared. Oh, the smoke's to the Dispel. But Tumberman aware something's in there. I mean, it doesn't matter. Paparazzi will TP out immediately as soon as he sees Viper turn up to lane.
They have Miracle under vision here. This is their big chance here to try to go for something.
I mean, he's got Mantra and BKB. Can they really do this? A quick patch onto the Naga. Lanham, he does have the song. If he needs it, they'll get the pushback, but Miracle pops the BKB. He's just going to turn and fight back into them. Jumps through. There's the Stomp as well, coming in for the sidelines of the rest of Liquid are coming in to back up Miracle. The Earthsplitter comes out, takes down the Naga Siren. Miracle will heal himself back up to full after the Ice Blast wears off with that healing ward. They just can't kill this Juggernaut. He's got 25k net worth. He's got the same net worth as both Ori and Paparazzi put together almost.
They popped Ghosts. They popped everything for that to try to bring him down, and they still couldn't. And now he's full health, and they're ready to push. No Ghosts, and they've got the rest of their heroes now. It's not looking like Vici can stop this Jug.
Try the best with the cooldown to D-push. The siege creeps are still up there, removing that backdoor protection if Liquid want to go in. Well, looks like Liquid are going to respect them. Back off. Let's sort of Miracle refuel as he is low on the mana. Some big items coming out though.
Committed for the B-fly, or for the butterfly.
Anything will help that little bit for VG at this stage. Shiva's Guard, as you say, finished Paparazzi. He has got the gold for the complete butterfly. So those items will be picked up for their 2 cores.
Second Roche, this is the one that Liquid wants to end the game on here with the Aegis and the Cheese with this level 25 Juggernaut.
I think VG feel they have to contest
yes.
this. They cannot hold a push against an Aegis Cheese lineup that Liquid have.
They don't have their Exorcism though for 60 seconds. That's their big team fight right here.
It's so hard for them to get in. Maybe they can go for a steal. At this point, if you can throw away the clock's life and get the steal.
All-time Juggernauts at this time.
I'm not surprised about that. This really is one of those games for the books from Miracle. He's played it absolutely perfectly. As I said, that game 1 definitely riled this boy up. He was so hungry for victory in this game too, and he's not been blinking at all. He's just fully focused, fully into the game. And this is Miracle playing at 110%.
Glimpse back the Naga, they pop the BKB, and they're able to get the Aegis and Cheese
they
because
can't
of the Glimpse.
disrupt it. VG can't get in, and Lanham, he's trying for the TP out. There's the Stomp from GH. Lanham will fall. And with no Naga for 50 seconds, Song expended as we just saw, but perfectly ripped away from them with the play. And at this point, Liquid, they're just going to A-click down the lanes. They do have the Ice Blast, the cooldown, the Butterfly, and the Gyro. Is it really enough, though? Miracle cuts his way through the cogs. Will A-Fury to dodge that missile and straight in onto the racks. 11, quick with the 4-star to keep his distance. Siphon does bring Miracle down fairly low. Quick shove back, but he's got the healing ward. Viper Strike comes in onto Ori. Matsuma Man being focused by Paparazzi. They're bringing him down low, but the Cheese comes out. There's the setup. They move in. The Earthsplitter as well, ripping VG apart. 3 to 4. Ori, he's in trouble as well. The Crimson Guard, the Siphon isn't enough. No, the impetus, pure damage. Fights through the guard, takes him down. GG is caught. Liquid, they woke up here in this game too. They showed they came here to play and will be pushing this series to a game 3.
This game was Miracle with no mercy whatsoever.
Absolutely not. As I said, this is Miracle playing at his full potential.
He was making the moves for his team too. He's like, all right, I feel like I need to make some roaming moves. He roamed, he got a haste from bottom, runs, kills Ori mid, runs back bottom, continues that farm.
Yeah.
He had an impeccable performance on the Juggernaut, and GH as well. His Elder Titan in that mid lane, in the mid lane multiple times, getting those 3-man stomps every single time to turn the fights around, where it looked like Vici was starting to be able to come back. They just kept saying, no, sorry Paparazzi, you're going to be underfarmed on this gyrocopter, and we're going to take this.
And to sort of harp on that again, I think as you said, with this Miracle Juggernaut, sure, we sometimes see some high net worth Jugs, but it's been because, oh, they got a nice fast timing on the Battle Fury, oh, the team's creating constant space, the Jug's not been in the game at all. But that was not the case.
He was fighting.
Jug, he was in the fights, Miracle was there, sort of 8 minutes onwards, making those rotations, and wow. What a game 2. Now, going into game 3, Vici Gaming after seeing this, sure, surely one of the change-ups is going to have to be, you have to prioritize Miracle in this lane. You can't let him get this sort of start.
I think you can't let Miracle get this sort of start, and if they're gonna have this like Death Prophet, they have to have a lot of different ways to keep the fights around the DP. That's what I saw in the last one. They had this Warlock channeling upheaval. They couldn't run away from Exorcism. This time around, they only really had it. They were relying so much on LANM and as well as 11, and 11 is playing a Clockwork. We don't really traditionally see this hero played so much in the off lane now again, so some adjustments definitely needed to be moving forward for this next draft.
Well, certainly the back and forth series that we'd hope to see. Vici Gaming showing us their potential in Game 1, and Liquid showing us theirs in Game 2. Who is going to come out in Game 3? I don't know. It's going to be absolutely amazing, I'm sure. We'll see very shortly.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, that is one of the big questions, but we've got a few other questions to ask about Game 2 before we get to Game 3. Back with our panel members. Kevin, we'll start with you. Where did it go wrong for Vici?
Miracle played the best Juggernaut game anyone has ever played, I'm pretty sure.
So outclass. Let me well, hold on, because that's a big statement, Kevin. It was better than the Paparazzi game earlier in the tournament.
It's the most farmed Juggernaut 30 minutes ever. Come on. Like, you can't even, like, don't even talk about MVPs. It's not even worth it. Like, most valuable player on Jug ever in a single game. Like, he played amazing. I think Vici Gaming's draft was pretty cool, and it worked out generally well. The Clockwork didn't necessarily, like, contest Miracle at all. That was maybe the one negative, but I thought Old 11 got a lot done. It just came down to every time the Jug went somewhere, an enemy hero died, and it was always an important one.
And they set him all up for that, right? Because they go for this aggro Trine lane, and they didn't really care. All right, we're trading kills, but we're getting a Jug, Miracle Jug, versus an offlane Clockwork. Like, you only survive in that matchup. You don't really pressure the Juggernaut whatsoever, and so they're just like, this is all space.
It kind of reminded me of EG's game number 2 against VP in the same way, that they aggro try, and it looked like EG was losing, but I think I said in the green room, I was like, yeah, EG's going to win this game, even though it looks kind of bad. You're throwing bodies at a lane to secure another one, I think it's fine.
I think like one of the big fixtures of this tournament has been aggro dual lanes, and maybe one of the reasons that offlane heroes are picked later is because they want to make sure that they have a hero that can actually harass the offlane. That's why, or the carry as the offlane hero. That's why we're getting like last pick enchantresses and stuff like that. And even though MC did die a few times, he was always there, right-clicking the gyro, giving gyro a bad game. And then if Miracle rotates like twice and gets gyro kills, then gyro has no farm and he can't compete. So I really, really liked how Old 11 played Clock. He was almost unanimously getting kills every time that he rotated, but Miracle just played too well. So my next thought was maybe they needed more armor on their cores. I mean, you could say maybe swap heroes. Maybe Death Prophet goes for a fast Veil build instead of trying to rush Yule. Something like that that would allow them to barely survive an Omni / kill Miracle and maybe win a team fight.
Was there anything they could have done differently in the early game, Vici?
Well, there was one really big trip up by them in the defending the mid-tier 1 tower. They ended up going for a sleep and got interrupted by GH's Stomp at the same time as they were throwing out Ice Blast. So they throw Ice Blast, does no damage because they're still asleep, and then they've kind of like completely bungled their whole entire initiation. I think that was actually one of the I think that was the moment where I was like, oh, Vici Gaming lost. Like, once they bungle that one team fight, it felt like there was no real way for them to be able to recover, I think. Vici Gaming had to be able to keep up a very crisp game plan throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah, well, in a positive assessment of Liquid, how different did they look this game compared to the last one?
Oh, a lot better. I think when you give Miracle the best hero in the game, he's always going to look like this. And I think that's been the key to when Liquid wins games, is that this guy, you have to let him shine. Like, you can't really coop him up on these heroes like Tiny. That's why a lot of teams, like, they might give their 1 position or their 2 position to Tiny. Oftentimes they give Mind Control that hero, and they give something that overwhelms on the side of Miracle. That's why, so far, I think he might be my MVP.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about the man himself. Yeah, because on the first game, I think one of you, I can't remember who it was, but one of you said you don't think Miracle looks comfortable in Game 1.
Yeah. I mean, when he plays these heroes like these Tinies and stuff, the ones that don't just like straight up end the game, I think he always looks kind of average. Like, you have to, I think his comfort zone is knowing like, okay, if I get farmed, I can carry my team. Like, when you put him into those kinds of positions, it feels like he knows exactly what to do. Whereas if he has to be like just kind of a cog in the machine, he feels a lot more awkward in that sense.
I think it's as well that Tiny doesn't necessarily provide strong carry potential. It's more of like a hybrid gank kind of thing. You look around, look for hero kills, be in the right place at the right time. He tried to go carry build, didn't work out. Tiny's not really in that kind of a hero position right now. So I think a hero like Jug, he can rotate and do these occasional ganks in between farming. That's exactly what suits him.
Yeah.
One thing I would say besides Miracle looking a little different is that Liquid as a whole, I thought were a lot more patient when it comes to ending the game. I thought they really made sure they built up their advantage. Part of it, though, is a different scenario, right? As Will said, best hero in the game, they actually had that late game scenario where they were like, we're fine if this, like there was no pressure for them to end out the game like there was, I felt like, in game number 1.
And what about this jug? We haven't seen a huge amount of it, but every time we've seen it, it feels like it's ridiculously good.
It's because the only time they're picking it up is late in the draft, and it's usually against like a gyrocopter or a hero that OMNI Slash is very effective against. That's most of
As
it.
simple as that.
I mean, Spin is also very good. He's good at rotating.
Yep.
He's just weaker in lane generally. Like, he can help you get a kill, but it's mana reliant, long cooldown. So if he has a good matchup like he did, he can free farm and also rotate correctly because he's Miracle and he doesn't make very many mistakes, if any.
True.
And then, yeah, it gives you a big gold lead, transition to Battle Fury, then you become late game.
It's I feel like very similar to the last pick, like Life Stealers. When there is a Life Stealer game, it's usually a really good Life Stealer game because similar situations where you need that direct physical damage onto somebody, magic immunity, and then obviously having a vehicle for Life Stealer is pretty important. Here with the Juggernaut, you can be a lot more independent if you're Miracle.
Absolutely. How annoyed are Vici going to be, having done that to Liquid in game 2 of the previous series, to have it done back to them in this game? They should have seen that coming, shouldn't they?
Maybe. I think there was definitely still some options, but Juggernaut was, I think, by far the best.
Yeah.
Other than that, Vici Gaming changes for the Game 3 draft. I was trying to think about it. I thought their
Well,
draft
hold that
was, for the most part,
thought,
pretty
Cam.
good.
Hold that thought, because
Okay.
we're going to come back with Game 3 draft very shortly. We're headed to a break right now. If you're just joining us, you've missed some great Dota 2, but don't worry, there's still plenty more to come, because after the break, it's Game 3 in our first semi-final. Liquid versus Vici Gaming. We'll see you soon.
Close your eyes. Would you dream for me? Some paradise. Tell me who you see, 'cause I think I do want you next to me. Want you next to me, but does this work? 'Cause I know I can't get to you. I like the chase, and I know you do too. Am I?
If you haven't voted yet, maybe you've been swayed by that last performance by the Juggernaut in the last game from Miracle. He already leads. He doesn't really need any more votes. But if you fancy it and you want to give him a bigger lead, you can go and do that right now, right on the site, on your screen right now. The MVP by Mercedes-Benz. Thank you very much for your support again, Mercedes, on the MVP trophy, which will be, of course, delivered tomorrow, as will the grand final. We're still a little while away from that, though. And Liquid and Vici right now, locked horns. They're tied up. It's time for game number 3, and our panel are ready to bring you all of their wisdom before the draft begins. Look at the 3 wise men we have.
Do you want us to talk?
He's
to
missing
or?
a beard.
True.
All wise men have a beard, Blitz.
I'm trying. It's not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
It's like
he's
a month.
he's been growing that for 20 years already. Leave him alone, Cat.
This thing has been, I think it's like 4.5 months or something.
If we could have like a camera zoom in, you could see the little
like
follicles.
Kev's already, it's already going through Kev's mind. Why
4
can't
months.
I not shave for 4.5 months?
That's me too. I don't know what you're talking about, Red Eye.
Okay, Kevin would be like,
Kidding?
he's like, think of the time efficiency. I would actually save so much time in my life.
All right, let's get into this draft. 1-1 right now. Will, advantage Liquid, do you feel now?
No.
Mind game-wise?
I still like Vici.
Okay.
I was the one that called Liquid, and I didn't even feel confident about that. I feel like Vici's team fighting last game was a little bit sloppier, but if they play anything like they did in game 1, I think that they are the team of this tournament so far.
Okay. Do we depart, Kevin, from the norm between these two? Because we've seen 5 games between them now over the last 4 days. They've all felt fairly similar in terms of the way that they've both drafted and whether they've drafted the other way. You know, we saw the Jug versus the Gyro, then we saw the Gyro versus it. We haven't seen anything crazy so far. Is this the game?
Maybe. I'm not sure, I guess. It all depends on how the openings go, like who gets first pick, how that adjusts based on the first bans. It's kind of like a well-known maze that only the teams know because that's what they're planning.
Good way of explaining it.
Liquid are refusing to give them both the DK and Gyrocopter. I was thinking about that. I think they actually set that up where they're like both Gyro and Death Prophet, both of them very susceptible to the Juggernaut.
The Clockwork definitely fell into their hands though, because the time that Vici Gaming went for it, it was against a Nyx Assassin, which is another hero that can't really contest the enemy carry very well. It's very similar for both games actually.
They beat the Naga too, which I think was huge for them.
Yeah, it's a mind block gone, isn't it?
They demonstrated like, okay guys, it wasn't the Naga. Kuro said, I think the Bat Rider is the bigger issue, and I think ultimately he was correct.
Especially since they've gone too serious against it now.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say like, a lot of people will say like, well, Naga's the common link, they can't beat it, just get it out of the way. Well, he just beat it.
Yeah. It's worth remembering as well, they did win one of the games in the best of 3 against the Naga as well, so it wasn't like they couldn't beat it.
I'm still okay with Vici Gaming getting Naga Siren. Because again, I think their team fight is so good and it looks that much better with Naga Siren. You could still get a different lineup around it.
Do they do it again here?
Would you say that that Liquid beat it with any particular hero? Because the hero I was thinking was Elder Titan, and they banned it themselves. So what do you think they're thinking there? Are they going to let him get Naga? Are they planning to think Naga will get through? Like, Will, why don't you think Naga is the important hero?
I think it's good, for sure. It's just, in this meta, like, there's so much that, even though it feels as though the 3 bans on each side are enough, it really doesn't, because people are finding abusive ways to like play heroes. I think that it's also a draft advantage too, if you can consistently beat the Naga and you can just keep baiting it out. And if you personally don't think it's a problem, but the enemy team thinks it's the reason why it's winning, it's a pretty big advantage, right?
That's true.
Like Vici's in a weird position right now, because they're in the idea of, okay, well, we've gone this far with this hero, it's consistently won. Do we really give up on it at this point? And Liquid might be on the sense of like, oh well, we're past this hero. We don't actually think that this is the reason why you're winning, and I mean this best of 3 kind of like, it'll prove who was correct in their assessment of that.
It's true. The bat has gone.
Yeah. I think it's really hard though in these positions, just because like first pick versus second pick, these kinds of things change it too. And Liquid very clearly look comfortable against it, but Vici, and like I said, they've won with it so much.
We have such a strong focus on lanes. The Bane has been left out there this time around.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very popular with...
that is a hard hero to beat. A pure damage nuke that also heals him up.
You think Vici are willing to take the Disruptor second this time around?
It'd be easier setup, I guess, but I feel like they'd be too vulnerable in lanes. I think this is the longest delay for a 2-3 pick of the tournament so far, at least recently.
Chen PL.
PL?
Oh, it's to block the gyro.
Yeah.
That they've been
Because they could, and they have done in the past, taken the Jug Naga first thing.
Yeah.
It's just to dissuade them a little bit, Will, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the miracle hero that will hopefully, regardless of like what late game situation you run into, will win the game for you. And I think Liquid play a lot better behind that anyways.
What about Tiny versus PL?
It's okay. The tempo's alright. When's the last time Vici picked it?
I was going to say, not something they run.
No.
I was looking back a couple of months, couldn't find one until there was a match at Genting that they played it.
But first you
against
probably have
SG.
to You have to guard against the Chen, right? Like, I think you would deal with that problem first.
Yeah, in fact, when they played SG, they played it in all 3 games, and they lost one of those, Will.
Good. Good switcheroo.
Okay. The DK?
It's good. High armor. It'll be difficult for PL to kill him, but you can drain his mana, but it'll go Soul Ring, so...
And splash damage, I think, is
yeah.
very helpful against the PL in these fights. Honestly, DK carry has been super impressive all tournament long.
Has been one of the standouts. It's currently at 70%. 20 picks.
Yeah, you don't want it to be your solo carry, but as like a secondary core, it still looks really good at like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's incredibly tanky. The teamfight aspect of it is very strong. His stun is really nice. All of his talent scale. There's no weak aspect of this hero. The laning is also very good because of Dragon's Blood.
Would you say he works well enough against Chen though? Like, 'cause I feel like if you hit him like level 1, level 2, you can certainly gank him. Maybe even level 3.
Yeah, but it's more that the meta has geared towards the Chen going into the off lane that I think he's somewhat comfortable against. And there's not a lane that you really get wrecked in as a DK. He doesn't really care too much about what you put against him because he feels like Zeus in the sense that at worst he trades out.
So you take away Viper for the break aspect. Is there any other mids that you would be worried about, Will? Like Death Prophet or something?
DP is kind of annoying. Shadow Fiend is problematic as well, but there's a very good chance that this is just straight up like a PL mid.
Yeah, because the matchup is fine for you, right?
Yeah, I don't think they care about this matchup very much.
In which case you're still looking at maybe like a Sand King pickup or the Beastmaster that we were talking about in the first series as the coupler for the Chen.
Yeah. In an ideal world right now, what Liquid will do is they'll run some kind of dual lane mid, and then they'll dual off lane, and they'll put Matama Man in a hero situation one-on-one up at top, where no matter what, he's always going to be okay. Which is why Vici, they very smartly, I think, banned the Lone Druid. Like, this is one of those heroes that doesn't really lose any straight-up matchup. Maybe the Bat Rider's okay against it, but Liquid already banned that in the first phase. And I think they realize, like, the Bat Rider's annoying for us when it comes to the draft, because if we take if Vici takes Bat Rider, then we don't get that guaranteed, like, Matama Man will be okay in this lane kind of situation.
It's kind of like the Razor problem in some ways. Huh. So Earthshaker the next pick.
So I think that it's really hard to find a support that matches up against Naga Siren that can be a threat, right? Because otherwise you have like a core trying to counter a support in that regard. And that's why I liked what you said about Disruptor being a pretty good hero versus Naga Siren. I feel like Earthshaker could be one of those heroes as well. And that you're just like a jump in, instantly blow up a hero. Either before song goes off or maybe directly on the Naga Siren itself.
Yeah. It's the Fissure, I mean, especially if you take the new talent, the range one, it's quite nice at blocking that off to begin with.
Yeah.
And this time around, I mean, I wanted it last time, right? When they picked Chen, the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I thought they were going to pick it up second pick, actually. But
they last picked Earthshaker 4 months ago against Vici Gaming. Oh, Dota Pip. And won with it.
What's the...
That was a weird game. That was a Brew TA Kotl Lone Druid Shaker game.
I think there's a couple games since then, but...
Yeah, just in terms of against Vici.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, your supports are not great versus PL.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
That's okay.
You need a frontliner right now for Liquid. Like, you need something that just runs in, tanks up a lot of attention, and can dual lane if needed.
Man, it just must suck so bad having to pick Witch Doctor against a Chen, which is good, but there's also a PL. Because when late game comes and there's a billion illusions, you know Cask is like a one-man stun.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Your one job is like getting Maledict, and it's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about Tank?
I'm okay with it.
Like, I like the addition of some extra magic damage, and it also gives you that, like, I have a clear initiation and a good amount of burst damage.
Yeah, Sand King always works better as a secondary initiation anyways.
Yeah.
It'd give them really good late game, too. If they get, like, Sand King plus Earthshaker, they just have to initiate first, find the solo hero, chain stun. Assuming it's not Naga, or hopefully it's Naga. So Pugna just kind of shows tempo, right? Pugna, Earthshaker, Chen, very good at pushing towers.
10 seconds remaining.
The team fight's not bad.
There's always a disengage too with the Earthshaker. And Pugna, it kind of works as a good hero overall. Like, it's very fast. It clears out the illusions very quickly. Nether Ward's obnoxious to fight under. And it's like a nice one-on-one hero to begin with. Like, nobody really likes Selene against Pugna. I thought they needed some kind of frontliner, though, for the rest of their lineup. But I guess Chen creeps are also good for that.
So that now comes from whatever safe lane, off lane hero.
Yeah.
Rather.
Underlord's very good against Chen creeps. A lot of damage there. Pretty good against PL for most stages of the game, too.
I think one of the big, I've been hating on Underlord a lot this tournament, but I think one big difference here is that VG Gaming do have very active core in the Dragonite, and I'm only going to assume that VG Gaming is going to follow that up with another very active core, as that has been kind of their strategy whole tournament.
Yeah. I think if they didn't have Pugna, I'd really like OD from Liquid.
Yeah, the OD versus Underlord safe lane is, it's a mess. Yeah. Cuts through the Dragonite as well.
And to like a lesser extent, these heroes like Monkey King and things of that nature.
10 seconds.
But they already have PL, so maybe they feel comfortable about their win condition already. Like they don't feel as though they need a second one.
Remaining.
Yeah, if I'm Liquid, I'm just getting entirely focused on getting myself another team fighter.
Dire team pick.
Timbersaw was quite smart.
Yeah, hero has a really high win rate against Dragonite, actually.
Yeah, it takes away a frontliner too from
What
Liquid.
about Death Prophet for Liquid? Can they fit that into the lanes, maybe?
They could.
Is that banned? I know that has a high win rate against Dragonite. It has a good win rate against Underlord as well, I believe.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm trying to think what else VG need. Oh.
Hello. Where have you been?
Well, that's not the most active hero in the world.
Is that the first this tournament, Paul?
It's not the first pick or ban. Or the first pick, actually. It has been picked once. And one ban. No, in fact, just once. No bans. Just one slight pick, which was in the VP versus Vici Gaming matchup, would you believe, in the group stages.
Yeah.
That was also... That was a weird game, though, because that was with Sven as well.
The odd picks here that I'd be okay with are like MK or OD. But I don't know if Liquid thinks they already have enough like carry and just similar hero.
Lifesteal and Ursa were the two heroes that came to mind for me, but I think Ursa deals a lot better with Naga Siren
Than MK?
than Lifestealer does. Yeah.
Okay. You can lane against all the enemy cores as well, so I don't think we'll be doing too much lane swapping.
There's still plenty of argument going on in the Vici Gaming camp. Meanwhile, players are getting themselves set, they're getting themselves ready, so we'll get our final thoughts on the panel. Kevin, which way is this going?
I feel more confident about Liquid's draft, I believe. I feel like they set the tempo.
Okay. Well?
I think you're going to say Liquid, so I will break up the clean sweep and go with Vici.
What was playing the game? Cap?
I think I am going to say Liquid because I'm not sure about the Underlord with the Alchemist. I don't know. It feels like one of those lineups where Liquid really could run you over.
Okay, all right, well, we're ready. Hope you're ready, everyone here in the Spodek Arena and everyone tuned in around the world, because this is the final game of the first semi-final. A chance to go through to the grand final for Liquid and Vici, and this is where MVPs are born.
Thank you very much, Paul. And I think we're all very excited to see who's going to be the MVP of this game. Game 3, Liquid versus Vici Gaming. And folks, we've got an Alchemist. No, in the past, there would have been many a time where I would have said, Alchemist, bit of a yawn fest. But this time around, I'm excited. We just don't get to see this hero nowadays.
You're excited for Alchemist?
I am.
Oh god, what's wrong with you? Never excited for Alchemist. It is a very farm-intensive hero. I don't know how it's actually played because I have not seen this hero in quite a long time. I think they're just trying to match and keep up with the farm versus that Phantom Lance to be able to get that like massive massive hero that can just stand toe-to-toe with him. But there are heroes that are very good versus the Alchemist between the Pugna and the Ursa. These two heroes are known old counters actually to deal with Alchemist in that early game, just to kind of run over him.
So what is the plan with the Alchemist? You think, is this VG saying, we are just going to make this game go so late that Ursa gets to the point where he struggles to have a game, we can get to the stage where we're sort of transitioning this Naga into a carry? Is that the plan, or are we going to see some sort of a different approach with the Alchemist?
I think we're going to see something very different. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I think he wants to be able to farm the pace of the Phantom Lancer, and I think they're going to want to be able to like use the acid spray to delay the game constantly, and also to be able to secure Roshan with that Underlord as well, because they've got the Firestorm and they've got acid spray, which are very good tools of being able to pressure Roche.
Maybe he just saw the GPM that Miracle hit last game and said, guys, I got to beat this. I got to show who's who in terms of the carries. And Paparazzi says the only way to do that is to play this Alchemist. So let's see how it goes. He's going to be in the mid lane against Mind Control Pugna.
Very hard
backup
lane.
of GH on the Earthshakers there as well.
Very, very hard lane, even if it was just the Pugna as an Alchemist. You have very low armor, and Pugna is one of the best at just harassing, and with this, with an Earthshaker coming in, I think Paparazzi is going to be under a whole lot of pressure here. They're deciding to go for a slight aggro so they can make sure that 11 actually has a presence in this game. Because we've seen this matchup time and time again. When you get these Ursas, these Monkey Kings, these natural 1v1ers versus Underlord, the hero just becomes an absolute non-factor in the game. So they want to secure 11 because he's going to be very important for their game plan.
So that's the bottom lane, that's the mid lane. What about the top lane? What can we expect to see there? Is this DK already going to be fine on his own?
Until the Kuroki rotations come in. I think he can do okay versus a PL, but once Chen starts rotating in, you start getting way too bullied.
So all these lanes, as we're going to say, this mid lane going to be very interesting. Something a little different. Perhaps he's got the level in the acid spray.
Look at Kuroki right now. He's got the preparation for the kill. The double shard golems and the mud golem.
The amount of rocks that can be thrown out from this combo is quite insane. And he's making the move towards Paparazzi. This certainly is the easy hero to gank, and Paparazzi is getting pretty far up here, so Kuro will have a lot of time to close the gap. There's the initial slow with the Decrep. Oh, look at these rocks just firing through. He'll put the fairy fire, but they will be able to take him. First blood for Paparazzi, for Mind Control as they bring down Paparazzi. Kuro making that rotation, as you say, with this, if not the most potent creep combo at level 1.
400 damage from a Chen at level 1. Thank you, Shard Golems.
Eyes onto Kuro to continue to do that. We did see in game 1, despite the loss, Kuro had a very good opening on the Chen. Lanham trying to man fight Kuro here. Kuro trying to hold his ground. We'll have to begin to back off. He's got the first stun coming out. Lanham does have the root. He's going to chase this. He's level 2. Kuroki does take up one of the Wild Rings. He gets the Tornado going, which will start to put Lanham off and also causes his own Mud Golem to split because he caught hold of a new neutral creep. Lanham now being forced into the tree line. GH is there as well. They're hunting. They've got vision on him now. Lanham, one more Riptide, and he has got a bit of improved movement speed, but the Fisher holding him in the Tornado is bringing him low. Stick Charge will come out, but now he'll just look. He's trying to body block with a creep here. Kuro can't quite close the gap and get in front of Lanham. So Lanham, I mean, he's making space here. Mind Control will come across. They should get this kill as the Decrepify slow comes through. There's the blast. They will finally take him. But indeed, bottom lane, there's pressure going on here. The Maledict ticking Matuma Man down very low. Will just be able to survive there on 29 HP. Fenrir really wanted to finish that kill, but could not quite. They'll salve up on Matuma. GH is moving into position, may be able to find a Fisher to set up for Matuma Man to close the gap. We'll go for the attempt here, and he manages to get a perfect block off there. Can they close this gap though? Matuma Man getting a couple of touches, does find the slow. Going for this Witch Doctor, 11 trying to turn with a Firestorm, and with the Maledict in the cast, this Matuma Man bear's got to be careful. He's going to pop. Fenrir is still alive for now. GH, can he quite close this gap? It doesn't look like he can, but he's got the Fisher back up. Will come down, will find the kill, but that's Matuma Man being forced out of lane for a long time and still dies.
RNG on the side of Vici there. 4 creeps, but the cask hits Matu twice.
Top lane Lanham. He wants that creep, and he'll get it. Easy ripper there for Lanham. And now Kuro, he is creepless. So Lanham will continue to give him a bit of a rundown here. Kuro grabs the bounty rune though. Top lane CS, what are we looking at the moment? Ori 17 for 1, Miracle 18 for 8.
Fairly even. Miracle is starting to put a lot of pressure on though.
Lanham is continuing to chase KURO here. He's got the extra move speed there. He's going to try for the TP out as the root comes through, and he'll make it in time. KURO gets out, bottom lane. The cast, the Maledict onto GH will turn, but the combo, the Firestorm Maledict, is going to do quite a bit to GH. Shouldn't be enough to kill him, as he will be able to escape with his life safe. 30 HP on the Shaker. But once that starts to scale up, once there's sort of a couple of levels in that and a few levels in the Firestorm, Maledict Firestorm is going to make many a hero just have to leave the lane.
Yeah. I'm really astonished at how well Paparazzi's doing in mid. That can be a bit of a punish lane from the Pugna. Pugna is ahead, but I thought he'd actually be a little bit more behind, especially from that first blood gank.
All right. A little bit of a difficulty here. Miracle getting aggressive, actually gets the
him.
kill. The Spirit Lance damage is enough.
That's a solo kill.
It is, and now Lanham, I mean, Miracle's sort of turning towards him. He's looking about playing around on this, but he is out of regen, so we'll simply rush back to the creep and keep his distance. But a straight-up kill there in a 1v1 situation for Miracle. In a lane where he's already farming pretty well, as we've seen. Phase Boots now picked up for the out. Mind Control has hit that level 6. Top lane, movement coming in. Miracle is going to get brought down very low by the refund, but oh, he goes for the illusion bait. It's worked. It's worked. Can he actually get out of this though? He turns towards Lanham, will go down to the Riptide. KURO, can he get the finish off kill? Oh, the mirror image dodge off the stun. Very nicely done from Lanham. We'll keep Lanham safe, and they get that kill on Miracle. Despite his best efforts there with the illusion juke attempt, they get the kill. The same time down bottom, Matumba Man goes down. The level 2 Maledict's there, and this is the point where the damage just that little bit too much for an Ursa before he hits that level 6.
This dual lane is doing so much work. Like we were saying, the Ursa versus the Underlord, Underlord can really suffer if it's in that 1v1. So having this Witch Doctor down there constantly is putting a lot of pressure on Matu.
Bottom lane, 11, getting gone on again, but Matu, he's just going to get turned upon, and he's in trouble. He's got the Tango regen.
Oh, he's dead.
One more tick and he's going to be gone. And again, as you say, this duo may be something that Matumba Man's not laned against before, because he's losing his life a few too many times against this. This Firestorm Maledict combo, the right clicks as well as that Underlord. Very scary at this early stage. Mid lane, Lanham does get caught out by the Fisher. Mind Control trying for the chase, but Lanham will be able to keep his distance, get back behind the tower. Build from Paparazzi this game will be the phase boost into the armlet on the Alchemist to start with, and he's making good time on it now. We'll see this replay again up top. Good attempt from Miracle, but not quite good enough. As he does totally fool them there.
They were almost able to get a return kill because of that juke, though.
Yeah.
But Lanham having those stick charges was enough to...
And KURO nearly found... I mean, if he gets this stun here, maybe he gets the kill, but look, bam, perfect timing there from Lanham.
Perfect.
As he jukes it out. 4-4.
About a 1k lead for Vici at the moment. Paparazzi continuing to do a great job in the mid lane. Finding himself that regen rune was really clutch. So let's just keep spamming that acid spray. And like you said, yeah, armlet. So it looks like it's going to be that old standard build, probably the armlet into Radiance to be able to deal with that Phantom Lancer.
Smoke coming out from GH and KURO. They're moving in bottom. They want to punish this aggression that Fenrir and 11 are constantly going for. They do have the Maledict onto Matumba Man, bringing him down low with a quick burst from Mind Control. Takes down the Witch Doctor. They'll surround 11. They've got the stuns from the KURO army. 11 trying his best to run his way out of it, but the blast is too much from Mind Control. They're able to punish that duo lane that has been able to bully Ursa so well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And with that sort of play, Miracle continuing to get space up here, heads into the jungle. VG did try and mirror the movements of Liquid there, sent 4 of their own up to top to try and find Miracle, but Miracle keeps it safe in the jungle, moves immediately to the middle lane. So VG will get space to push onto this tier 1 tower top.
Both teams trying to get that tower pressure as best as possible, but unfortunately Mind Control was pretty much out of mana, so he had to actually leave that bottom lane. But top, Vici will get a tower.
I'll get the push on. More money in the bank here for Paparazzi, as this tower should pretty much give him that armlet. And this is that point where there's definitely a chance for the outplays. Paparazzi actually TPing straight into the mid lane. We'll get Fished immediately. Miracle as well, trying for a bit of harassment with the Spirit Lance. Paparazzi feeling strong, just try and come in to punch back at this PL.
He doesn't want to lose this mid tower, but he might just lose it anyway, even though the acid spray is down. He's pinging it. He wants his teammates to come help him.
He's not getting any backup for now. This is going to be a free mid 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower has
9 minutes in. Relatively early here for Liquid to take that mid-tier 1.
Vichi's heavily shut down Matumba though. He's going to be going for what looks like a Mask of Madness build just to try to catch back up. Might still change to the Blink if he's able to get it online early enough. And it will be standard PL build, just that Diffusal Blade. And yeah, like we were saying, Alchemist has queued up the Radiance, so to be able to deal with those PL illusions and to keep up match that farm.
Ori, Decrep, Mind Control, closes the gap, easy kill, just waltzes under the tower and takes it. And now GH's there as well. Can they look towards Fenrir? GH has got the Fissure back up, looks for the setup with the Fissure. They've got the slow from the Decrep. Mind Control closes the gap, gets the blast off. The paralyzing cast bounce is buying some time for Fenrir. He's looking his best to hide in the trees, will still survive for now. Can he do anything to help turn this one around? Doesn't look like it, with Miracle's rotation coming in as well. Lanham will fall. Liquid get themselves a second kill out of this, and they're still hunting for more. Fenrir getting chased down. Ori will return to the lane on the Dragon Knight. Fenrir trying his best with the juice, but he gets surrounded. Liquid take down another. Now Ori, he's sort of in on his own. 11's coming with the rotation to help back up this Dragon Knight. They'll turn immediately with a stun onto Mind Control and will claim the life of the Pugna. Miracle falling low, but does get himself out of the tower range. Him and GH will back up.
They're losing a bunch of heroes on Vici, but during all this, Paparazzi is just climbing that net worth board. #1 by 1,300 now. I'm having flashbacks of the old Alchemist.
I was there of the old Paparazzi as well. He used to be quite the player on this hero. So I'm sure he'll be overjoyed to get the chance to play it once again in 2018, nonetheless, playing an Alchemist. And so far, so good. As you say, he's hitting the timings. He's on par for a good advancement onto the Radiance.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But this Miracle PL is going to get it to that point very shortly where he is going to be a huge nuisance for any of VG's heroes. The Diffusal Blade being closed in upon, about 1,200 more gold, and it will be there.
They continue to pressure Matu, though. The rotation from just the 2 supports this time actually is scaring the Ursa, because the Witch Doctor's level 6 already. So with Maledict and with Death Ward, they can surely bring down that Ursa. And they're just constantly just making space for this Alchemist to just keep farming up. Does feel like Liquid is under the gun a little bit here. They will spot Ori here.
Top lane. Quick slow from Mind Control. They get the Fissure touch as well with the blast. Ori brought down low. Will still be able to run it off. Another blast connects. Mind Control, he's hunting, has another Decrepify. Blast is going to be back up in a second, and Ori still alive. One more needed. They've got the root. They're trying for the turnaround. He goes in with the Dragon Tail Breathe Fire as well. Mind Control will get punished, but the blast was out in time. So the 1-for-1 trade. Mind Control gets the kill on Ori. Does cost him his life. Miracle continuing to get space in the middle lane now as he starts to push the wave right up to the tier 2. Paparazzi's there though with the deep push.
Not about team fights this game. Just looking at both lineups, they're both about just getting their farm up on their individual heroes and then take the fights when they're large enough, because neither of them really have those natural team fighters. It's pretty much just the Earthshaker and the Pugna on the side of Liquid, while on Vici it's majorly that Underlord and Dragon Knight.
Dire's middle tower is
And
under attack.
Relic is almost online. Paparazzi.
Top lane. Good root. Cast as well as the Death Ward. GH, he is going to be gone for. Maledict will cause him to pop.
That's a pretty big kill too, because I didn't realize how close he was actually to blink on the Earthshaker.
11's out of there. And he won't have to worry too much for those sort of plays for a little bit of time, as he has got the completed hood on the Underlord. Very, very strong against this core Pugna.
Yeah, against core Pugna and Earthshaker, you kind of need a Pipe or a hood. Just because we saw a Secret run this combo and how susceptible most heroes are to the burst. Just one click stun, you get follow-up stun by the Earthshaker, and Pugna does an absurd amount of burst. So Shadowblade will be the choice for the Dragon Knight. Then initiation. And Liquid looking to continue pressuring this top tower.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Keep pushing here down middle. Paparazzi 500 away from that Radiance. As we can see from the stats, a pick that is very, very rarely looked towards. And even when he has done so, it's not a successful hero. But can Paparazzi show us the strength of this hero in this day and age? That Radiance is going to be here around that 14-minute mark. Very good timing on top of the phase armlet. He's on par for the outgame that he hoped for.
Similar timings that we used to see on the hero. Top now though, Mind Control, he's trying to take advantage of all this space, get this tower push while his team is also taking Roche.
Radiant structures
So like we were saying, it's a lot of trade situations that are going to be happening in this game until they get those bigger, more aggressive items, like the Blink Dagger on the Ursa,
Very
like the
easy
Shadow
rush
Blade
out.
on DK.
For the side of Liquid, they get that tier 1 tower top as well.
Under attack.
Blink Dagger finished for the Ursa on top.
They're
of,
even at it.
what is just at the moment, just the Morbid Mask.
Just going to poke top a little bit.
Radiant's bottom tower
See what they can do with this Blink on Shaker, Diffusal Blade on Miracle. A lot of these fighting items being put together. They want to keep the pressure high against this Paparazzi Alchemist. They do not want to draw this one out.
Yeah, they've got the double blinks is going to be a big option for them to actually kill this Alchemist. If they can kill the Alch, they can threaten the high ground here with Chen.
I mean, yeah, Paparazzi's got to be so careful.
They're not, the blinks are not here just yet. They're on the courier.
Full out pipe complete
are scared.
for 11. And they're poking at this one Liquid. BG are they going to take the bait? Ori looking to lead forward with the Shadow Blade. They do know the whereabouts of the Nether Ward. Ori still moving forward, see if he can get some sort of a setup. Miracle coming in on the front lines. Ori can't quite find the catch he hoped for there with the Shadow Blade initiation.
Miracle's trying to just throw lances on the Naga to burn the mana down so they can't do the disengage with the Song of the Siren.
And now they'll look straight towards the Alchemist. They've got the magical damage. Echo Slam comes in for GH, but Paparazzi's still alive. The pipe buying him time to turn. Turns, looks towards Matuma Man. They've taken down the Ursa once. The root's out onto GH Maledicts as well. Miracle chasing down Ori in the sidelines, but the Song comes through. Lanham holding back the side of Liquid, giving VG chance to disengage, get themselves out of there after taking the Aegis out. But Matuma Man wants the fight still going. GH finds the two-man push for Fisher. They've got the slow onto Ori, but they turn. Matuma Man stuck underneath the tower. The root from the Pit of Malice holding him in place. VG will hold against the Aegis push. They remove that Aegis from Matumba, and then they kill him a second time without losing anybody.
I don't think you can ask for a more clutch pipe timing. That pretty much saved the Alchemist from getting bursted down and saved that whole fight from going into a complete disaster for them.
A big hold from VG Gaming, and a hold that have come quite familiar to see them being able to pull off. They're very, very good at sort of holding back these early advances that Liquid do like to take. Advances that would definitely work out for Liquid against numerous of the teams that we have here today. But VG Gaming, that step ahead to make sure they can get out of it. And bottom lane, Paparazzi instantly TPs out underneath the nose of Mind Control, knows that there's no cancel. But VG Gaming proving to be a team that can just keep hold of a game very, very, very controlled.
Yeah, and they weren't aware of those double blinks coming out just yet. That was the first reveal by Liquid. They just had picked it up off the courier. So being able to stop that initial first showing is really important for VG's lineup.
With the defense, Paparazzi closing in onto the Manta style. As they have that 2K lead. Obviously something that as time goes on, VG Gaming will want to feel a more sizable advantage than just 2K. You have this Alchemist, you do expect to be in quite a lead. And 2K, not really quite at that point, because obviously as we're seeing Liquid, they're still able to make a lot of plays at this sort of time. Sure, they failed the high ground push, but they can go for these outer tier 2s without too much of a threat of VG Gaming trying to take them head on. VG Gaming just going for the pushes themselves.
They see Paparazzi, they're looking for something here.
Straight on with the Fisher as well, they're locking down. That's how they do it. Get that instant jump onto the Alchemist. These deep wards from Liquid helping set up those sort of jumps.
They want to take advantage now too. There's no Radiance, there's no Acid Spray. They want to just try to threaten this tower. They have Echo Slam available too. VG has to be careful.
At the same time, we've got to remember though in return, there is that pipe available on 11, so as long as he can get that out, a lot of that initial burst from Liquid going to be negated.
They're losing their tower though. Now Shrines can be threatened as well as the Racks.
This is early timing, 18 minutes to breaking the base. That's what Liquid wanted. We'll see if they do want to poke for more. They are still hanging around. As you said, they have those ultimates. They've got that Echo Slam. Miracle just going on the front lines. Can VG actually get him off the racks without their Alchemist? They're trying with the pit. Matuma jumps in on the side. The Fisher set up from GH, allowing him to immediately take down the Witch Doctor. They turn towards the DK. There's GH with the Echo Slam, but the Sleep comes out. Puts a halt to the advances. Paparazzi's back in. He's cooking up the concoction. He's looking for the stun straight onto the Pugna, but Pugna will be able to force himself to the side, splitting up the stun, making sure that his team doesn't get held down. They've got the cell to decrepify. Mind Control will be safe. They're looking to beat down the Underlord. They'll get him. He can't rift out in time.
Mind
They
Control's
surround
still
him up
alive.
in the sideline. The heals from Mind Control as he drains Lanham's life. Liquid They've found two. The offensive going very well here for Liquid. As Vici Gaming, did they go an Alchemist pick too far with their draft? Can they hold this game? Miracle ready to lead back in. They've got the creeps from KURO. Straight away, looking to lead in onto the DK, keeping Ori at bay. Zimmerman goes in, these racks falling very low. They've got to do something quick, but they don't have the song. Fisher comes down to 2. Lanham looking for the net setup, finds mind control.
It's all about the disengage now.
They're surrounding him. Paparazzi's coming in as well. The Death Ward is down. Mind control tries for the TP out. Have they got the stun? They have. Holding him in place. They should be able to find at least the Pugna. And they do, but the rest of Liquid's out of there.
That's massive there for Liquid, though. Being able to just do that aggression through the Naga sleep, through getting 3 hero pitted, 3-man Firestorm, just having this extra sustain. And mind control surviving during that entire initial engagement, getting positioned there on the side there, is what allows them to actually brute force that Rax.
I mean, this is the thing really about Vici's lineup. They don't really have a lot of magical bursts, so that self-decrepify causes a lot of issues when being used defensively in these team fights by mind control. As you say, being able to claim this full set of racks pre-20 minutes, Liquid definitely being able to play the pace of game they'd hoped to with their lineup.
And the positioning there by GH too, with the fissures, with him and Matu, the way they coordinate their stuns into instantly blowing up a target really lets them just push that advantage, because they pretty much are essentially fighting a 4v5 at the start because Fenrir dies right away. So watching GH, the same thing in the last game. He was so crucial and so important with those stomps to counteract everything that Vici was doing. Again now on the Earthshaker, he's doing the same.
They are continuing to build up those auras though. 11 now with a full mechanism as well as the pipe. We've seen already how much the pipe can do, especially against sort of GH's jumps with the Echo Slam to help slow down Liquid.
Their Dragon Knight is falling a little bit behind. He's got the BKB and Q, but you can see compared to the Phantom Lancer, he's about 3k behind, and the Pugna and Ursa are just slightly ahead as well. It's pretty much this Alchemist just being that big carry for his team.
And Miracle.
Manta finished.
Yeah, they got Manta on both now.
Yeah.
Miracle and Paparazzi. A bit of a smoke up from VG, seeing if they could catch out Miracle as he pushes out this top lane, but Miracle is playing it safe. It's already backed right up and will TP himself out of that top lane, so Vici Gaming will be unable to find that catch and punish Miracle.
Vici really needs the BKB on the Dragon Knight for them to take those fights. It's the same. It's almost similar on the side of Liquid, where if once they get the BKBs on both the Pugna as well as that Ursa, then they can really start to just claim that advantage. Because if you look at Vici's lineup, they're full magic damage oriented. The only real right click is coming out from. It's not great, but it's like the Dragon Knight and the Alchemist. These heroes aren't really those traditional right clickers.
I mean, it really feels like, as you said, sure they're full magic, but even the magic's not great. There just isn't really that much damage coming out of Vici Gaming's lineup. Yeah. It's a lot of tank, it's a lot of self-sustain. They're very good at sort of getting themselves out of the fight, disengaging, but in terms of actually just blowing up one of Liquid's heroes, it's not that easy for Vici Gaming to do.
Yeah, it's also kind of similar to the last time. Sure, they have like the Pit this time around and DK stun, but they don't have those lockdowns, especially for the Phantom Lancer. Between the supports, Naganet and Witch Doctor are not great catches for an illusion-based hero. BKB ready on the Ursa. Liquid want to try to press this advantage. They've got Mech as well on Kuroki, so they've got a lot more sustain to be able to go for that push. Next big one is going to be that Roche, which has just respawned.
Let's see if they can get their hands on it. Liquid smoking up, looking to take at least a pick before they go into the pit.
They've got vision slightly of the high ground here.
Song of the Siren is up for Lanham, so we can look to disengage if the going looks rough for Vici Gaming. They reveal their position now. No, both teams aware of one or the other being in the neighborhood, and looks like Liquid won't be able to get that jump that they hope for. They'll have to back off.
I love how Vici's just always ready to take the fight versus Liquid. It's not like they're like, oh, okay, we're just going to back up and send our Alchemist somewhere else to farm. No, they bring all 5 heroes ready to respond when they read Liquid making those moves. Something Blitz had brought up on the panel was that's what seems to be the success as Vici so far versus this Liquid squad is just Liquid squad is, or the Vici versus the Liquid squad is matching that aggression.
I'll be interested to see what talents Paparazzi continues to get as well on Alchemist. Does it level 15 take the 400 health? At 20, do you imagine we'll see the cleave, or is the 400 damage too much to pass up on?
400 damage is quite a lot.
But the farm.
But the farm. He might feel like he needs to, but he's not really that right-click oriented hero just yet.
With a scouting out of the pit this time. But Summerman won't be able to get away with a free Roche without VG being aware. VG are starting to take position around the pit, but as we said, it is very hard for VG to fight into Liquid's lineup. With this Alchemist, he's not at his timing at the moment. He has to wait for a couple more items really before he's going to be a true sort of threat in these team fights. He is going to try though. They're grouping up. They are going for the smoke play here, VG. Ori's the big damage dealer at the moment. If he can get the lead in him, which he might, finds Matuma. Matuma runs straight over the fissure. The jump forward, GH comes in with the echo. They're looking to turn. Gives Matuma the chance to pop the BKB. And for Liquid to try and turn this one round. The net comes out to Matuma, but now it wears off. He cuts through Ladham. They've lost 2 on VG Gaming. Matuma Man will survive 11. He's just looking to try and minimize casualties, take the rest of them out of there. And he will, but oh, Fenrir gets left behind. Jump forward from GH. He's got the block off with the fissure. GH. That fight there, that jump in, buying time for Matuma Man to react as Matuma Man sort of nonchalantly walked into the lineup of VG, but GH said, no, we're turning this fight, we're taking it. Matuma, pop your BKB and start hitting the enemy.
He's been so clutch in all these engagements. Just the counter initiation. Did you see that by Miracle in that fight too? He manted and got pushed all the way down to the low ground, but he had such high maledict on himself that he just died when he was getting sent home. Again though, GH coming in clutch. It might actually be that he has to take the 25% cleave in this game, though, like you were mentioning. I do think that he might be forced to do it because of that. He's the only actual right-clicking hero on his team.
Look at GH straight away, buying that time. Otherwise, Matuma Man, he was guaranteed dead. And as you say, they did get the kills, but Miracle does get caught out.
Yeah, he gets caught in, and he gets hit by the maledict as soon as he jumps in. So see, look, they're pinging him out, and look, he gets force-staffed, it looked like, as he manted going down. But the maledict was more than enough. They bail out with a few heroes,
and
but
they did take Fenrir home.
Yeah.
Poor old Fenrir.
The life of a 5.
Mid lane, Liquid, off the back of that, keeping the push heavy, looking to take another tier 2 tower, and they'll get it.
They've got Aegis and Cheese now, so they really want to be able to press their advantage. Miracle's queued up the BKB. He's feeling a bit of pressure under that pit, just getting locked down a bit too much in the fights.
The Octarine, the Radiants are there. Paparazzi continuing to grow to that point where he will be able to shove out multiple lanes, really keep the split pressure on against Liquid. I mean, are Liquid going to be able to deal with that sort of pressure once he does have sort of these constant side lanes being shoved in against them, or do Liquid have to group up and go as a 5? Because I'm looking at some of their heroes, they haven't really got the best individual heroes to deal with sort of this Radiant's illusion push.
Pugna can at one point if he does go for the Aghanims build, but I don't think that that's the plan that Liquid wants to do. I think they want to be able to close this game out on their a couple of next big items. When they've got the BKB on the Phantom Lancer, when he gets maybe one more. But I think they really do want to press the advantage with that Aegis Cheese. I don't think they want this to get to the point where Alchemist just split pushes forever and gets way too much farm.
Because this is the thing, I mean, I'm sure, you know, if you're Liquid, you're probably looking at this Alchemist. They don't see it a lot. And they probably don't know the exact plan, but they know that there is a plan for VG Gaming. And at this point, Paparazzi's not been able to pull it off. There's something that VG Gaming are building towards. And as you say, Liquid, they do not want to let it get to that stage. Smoke on smoke action here. Liquid, they have the high ground. We'll see what sort of a wraparound VG can get. VG, they do have the Song Assist. They find Mind Control on the side with the opening stun. Liquid, Miracle's there, ready to turn. BKB's popped by Mind Control. Matuma Man jumping in from the side. Fisher comes out, but Ori already has the BKB on. He gets himself back. Miracle still trying to move forward with his own BKB. It's going to run short pretty shortly. VG keeping them at bay. No one to fall as of yet. The pipe's out. Look at the Dragon Tail stun. Out onto Matuma Man. Paparazzi with the wraparound. Finds the concoction onto Miracle. Pops down the acid spray in the rated. But GH jumps in on the backlines. Gets the 2-man Echo Slam. Holding 11 and let him out. And they have to rift out of there. They want this fight done and dusted. They're looking to try and save that Alchemist. But no, they didn't get a range of him. What is this taxi service? Every time, people getting left behind. Fenrir again. That's the last time he uses that service. As they lose 2, maybe even more. Ori getting forced back to base. These rifts just haven't been great enough for VG. Paparazzi having to buy back.
GH again coming in super clutch there, and also Matuma Man's BKB usage there. Paparazzi starts charging the stun, trying to run away from him. Matu pops BKB. Paparazzi stuns himself, and he's able to clean him up on the sidelines there during that whole fight.
And now this tier 3 getting pressured. Ori. The Shadow Blade, maybe see if he can get a lead in. But it's scary. Liquid, they've got the full 5-man. Miracle will get gone on. They get the first stun. Do they have the control? Matuma jumps in straight away. Looks towards Paparazzi. GH there with the control. Fishes down with a Pit of Malice. Holding down Matuma. He'll lose the Aegis.
Miracle got sent home.
Can they get Matuma a second time? The concoction is going to be a long one. He's stunned down for a very long time. Matuma gone. Net out onto Kuro. They'll be able to find the Chen as well. VG Gaming will put a stop to that push attempt from Liquid.
Ori able to find the real PL there. Kuroki got a bit scared there. He actually just sent home Miracle during his BKB, and they had to instantly disengage from the fight, losing a very costly Aegis and Matu. Still a 4K lead for Liquid, but Vici showing they can still take these fights, and Paparazzi just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
He does.
Let's see what I'm really curious to see if he does take the cleave talent.
I think he's going to take the damage.
I think he would, just because he's versus a PL. He wants to be able to stand toe to toe.
Because the cleave, you don't get it on the illusions.
Of course not.
Just for yourself.
Yeah.
If you did, it would be a no-brainer.
I mean,
But we'll see. 25%, you know. But you're right. In the
he takes the concoction damage.
Yeah, he takes the concoction.
It's too much damage.
It really is. 400.
I thought maybe he would change it because he's versus the PL, but...
Sure, that could have been an argument. Could have certainly been an argument. But he's already got ways to cut through again. We'll see this fight again round this mid lane. And as you say, GH coming on the backlines to disrupt it. And I guess the Underlord just, he couldn't get in range of that Alchemist to take him home.
Look at Matumba in the top there of the fight. You can't really see it so much here, but with that BKB, he's able to isolate Paparazzi in 11. He can't get to
He can't get him. And that would have been the big save, because as we saw, Paparazzi was forced to expend his buyback because he wasn't saved in that situation. 11 just couldn't quite get there to him.
So 6-second cooldown on Unstable Concoction with 800 max damage. That could prove to be some fun.
What's he going for next? Just that Shiva's Guard. About 1,500 gold, and the Alchemist will have it. And then at the level 25, what do you even say? I can't remember the last time I saw a level 25 Alchemist. The regen sounds pretty good. I guess it depends how you want to play. If you do want to transition into sort of a right clicker, but if he's not taking the cleave, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't take the base attack.
I think he might just want to be the survivable with the build that he's been going for too.
That's a lot of regen. That's what, 86 health regen then when you pop that ult.
Will be quite a lot, yeah. Won't be a game changer. It's going to be all through plays in this game.
Yeah, they really need that Dragon Knight to pack a punch, but as it is, Ori just building fully for the initiation, for the Shadow Blade into the Blink Dagger.
I do feel like they need him to be that level 18 in particular. Having that level 3 Blue Dragon for them to slow and be able to splash down those PLs is going to be really useful for them.
They are holding on VG Gaming, but as we keep saying, you never want to be behind a net worth if you're an Alchemist lineup, and that is where Liquid have been constantly able to keep VG. Liquid have that lead, 4K at the moment. Miracle continuing to get bigger and bigger as he has pretty much got the money for the completed Skadi.
They're keeping all the lanes pushed into, so it's forcing Vici to assess those. So every time they go for these smoke movements, Liquid does know. They see bottom, nobody's there. They see top illusions are pushing out. They assume that Vici smoked. They're positioning themselves on the high ground again. Full Skadi now, as well as Cheese on Miracle.
It's a tricky PL. Shiva's Guard as well finished actually for mind control. So both teams have their own share of that. And very intrigued to see what Paparazzi does queue up next. I mean, is it a game where there's any sort of agonyms he can get for his teammates to change the game? I don't think it is really. There's not any sort of amazing ones.
Naga Eggs is always pretty nice.
It's
that
nice.
reset for the heal, it's nice. It's not going to add anything to damage to their lineup, which they're still lacking a bit.
I mean, maybe he even gets to the point where he starts sort of shoveling out moon shards to his Dragon Knight. That alongside his level 3 out of Dragon Form, once he does hit that 18, will be quite a boost up to his damage.
He's going to have to go for the BKB, it seems.
Okay. Really does want to be that frontliner in these fights.
It's really hard for them to actually bring down the Alk and the DK because they're still pretty tanky. It's mostly up to the Ursa, but now Miracle does have Eye of Skadi, so he's actually able to close the gap and chase those big tanky cores.
Ori with the lead in, pops the outer Dragon Form, looking to close the gap with the Shadow Blade. Who can he find? He's got his eyes on Miracle. Is he going to go for the right one? There's only one up at the moment, but the dodge instantly with the Manta style. Miracle's out of there. He's prepared for that Dragon Tail stun. He'll get himself away. GH still around. There's the Shadow Amulet. VG will continue to hunt slightly, but looks like GH will be fine.
But my control is just going to force in the mid lane. Try to make them take a different fight. Try to make them respond to mid as well as take the engagement. And now Miracle's leading the way.
He is. Looking for a lock onto 11. Straight away jumps in. Onto the Underlord, the doppelganger as well. 11 pretty much out of mana. They try for the concoction, but Miracles pops the BKB. Ori on the backlines as well, pops his own BKB, but the hand cock comes out. Liquid back up to full health. Lanham has to be careful. They are going to go for the rift out. VG realizing they cannot take this fight. They'll get themselves out of there, back to base. But once again, Fenrir, I don't think we've seen him join a single rift. He's been either dying or left behind every time. It's the sad life of a Witch Doctor.
It's a hard Witch Doctor game. Versus a PL, he's not going to have a lot of fun this game.
Let's see what they can do in terms of a defense, VG. So far, I can only feel that
they're getting out-resourced.
Yeah. These lanes just being shoved in heavily. And it really does feel like with this game, if anything, is sort of a demonstration of why we just don't see Alchemist played. Because you've got to ask yourself, what has it done this game? And I think your silence is pretty much the right answer.
He's been tanking up. It really hurts just because of how behind Ori is on the Dragon Knight. So he's really their only kind of damage besides the Underlord with the Firestone, which is percent-based. And now third Roshan spawns. Look at quickly make their way in. That's a Refresher shard too.
I don't know if VG are getting here anywhere close enough to contest this. I mean, Ori's trying to move across. Is he actually going to head towards the pit? That's the question already. GH is positioned, ready to block off any sort of attempt. And of course, with an Ursa on their lineup, Roshan melts. It's gone. For the time being, they'll hold the Refresher shard on Matsumaman. Double Enrage. With that Aghanim, especially, and with the BKB, makes this target very hard to bring down.
I think you give that one to GH. Yeah, he just passed it off.
Oh,
GH especially
the double slam.
Just getting double fissures, double slams, all that control for his team to do the damage in the lineup.
And honestly, that shard is the absolute dream for a Shaker. Because sure, it's always fun when you see the Refresher plays, but you're a Shaker, your mana pool ain't great. At least with the shard not costing any mana, you've at least got the chance to get out that full double combo.
They're about to have Butterfly finish now on Miracle too. The 3 cores on the side of Liquid are just keeping that farm up while it seems like both the Underlord, 11, and Ori, their farm has stagnated completely. It's just the Alchemist getting more and more gold, and his teammates just kind of stuck in the base, unable to farm anything.
Shadowblade's there, of course, for GH as well to help him close the gap. He's got all the tools to position himself. Force, Blink, and Shadowblade. So you can bet yourself that we are very likely to see something incredible from GH.
They've got DD now on Miracle. They're looking to go. They've got their lanes in a great position too. This is the fight Liquid's looking for.
This bear, pretty much invincible, as we said. Low cooldown on the Enrage. Jump forward from Ori. Will go for the stun, but there's double damage on the PL. They do have the lockdown with the second stun. Have they got anything further? Fisher comes out onto Paparazzi. There's the jump. Comes in with the first Echo Slam. But the Meteor Hammer's down. The Concoction as well. Paparazzi. They have been able to take down this Earthshaker. The Death Ward as well. Beating into Liquid. Forcing them back. Matsumaman. He swallows the Gorgonzola. But there's trouble for the PL. Miracle's falling low. He's going to go down. They pop the Aegis. VG, they're somehow doing it. They've got the stun onto Matsumaman. He pops the Enrage with the cars. Bouncing between himself and Kuro, holds them down. Matsumaman will fall. Another Concoction onto Kuroki. VG Gaming, they're holding against this Aegis Cheese push. They're perfect lockdown from hero to hero. Honestly, with this lineup, I feel like they could have given themselves a harder lineup to pull these sort of fights off, but they are doing it. They're showing off here.
Look at the Alchemist's damage in the fight. He's pretty much everything for them. He's got,
oh my
he got 6 unstable concoctions off.
Well, that's what the Alchemist does. VG Gaming say, in response to my question earlier.
Yeah, just they kept the fight also around the Pit of Malice. So as soon as those BKBs wear off on Liquid, they just started getting chain pitted. And they're still having trouble. They are having trouble actually focusing fire and burning somebody down because of all those auras, like you were mentioning earlier. The Atrophy aura starts building up, as well as the Greaves and the Pipe. Even versus a PL who's this stacked.
And as we say, you know, we've got to remember that with that damage, it is a lot of damage from the Concoction. That's an 800 physical damage you can max charge on a 6-second cooldown. So you are getting easily 2 of those out each fight. Mid lane, the push comes through. The tier 1 falling low thanks to the Meteor Hammer. They'll get it. Mind Control will get the deny. More defensive items coming out for 11. He's got the Crimson Guard. VG Gaming, could it be that their plan of action with this Alchemist pick is starting to unfold. We're starting to see what sort of potential it can hold in these defenses against Liquid.
They're starting to get that farm too on their other cores that they really desperately need. The Maelstrom's almost finished up on Ori. Level 18 now too, so he's got that level 3 dragon form.
And that right click, sorely needed. And it's getting there. And that Dragon Knight. The Axe, they're beginning to be built here by Paparazzi. He's got his first one queued up. As we said, where's it going to go? That last fight, the Death Ward looked pretty nice from Fenrir. I feel like he's been a bit of a forgotten man, as we've said with the Rift players. You got to give this Witch Doctor some love. But do you think he'll be more likely to be the Naga?
Naga or Underlord, more than likely.
Okay.
Because Underlord's also is pretty decent.
Sure.
If he can survive throughout the whole fights, your Atrophy aura starts to build up a lot on your teammates. You get a lot of bonus damage if you kill any heroes. Paparazzi just on Bounty Rune Collection. He's got the first Aghanims when he wants to pick it up. He wants to save for buyback, though.
Understandable, because Liquid, they are looking to knock on the doorsteps. Once again, as they come down mid. They do still have a cheese on mind control, and they do still have the refresher shard on GH. 40 minutes in, ready to try and look for that second Rax. Paparazzi looking for the opening with a concoction. Quick doppelganger from Miracle keeps him safe. Doing their best to clear out the waves here with the acid spray, the breathe fire, the radiance.
They've got such good high ground defense with all the spam. Liquid kind of feels like they just got to keep farming some more. Get that bigger net worth advantage until they can see a perfect jump from GH with that refresher shard. Smoke comes out, Vici.
They're looking for the opening. Miracle quick with the doppelganger. Ori coming in. They have managed to find the real one, and he's got the lockdown. Jumps in with the Dragon Tail. GH is there with the Fisher, but the BKB is already out from Ori. Miracle pops his own BKB, keeps the distance. Mutumamau with his BKB tries to prioritize Ori, but the Glimmer Cape comes out, keeping Ori safe. Now he turns Dragon Tail onto Miracle. Miracle's gone. They've got him. They've taken down the PL. They're jumping, trying to chase for Mutumamau. Mutumamau, can he keep the distance here? Paparazzi's got the concoction, throws it out. That range, but the blink is there. Mutumamau jumps up, but he can't be disjointed. They'll continue to try and chase, but the stun time not too long, as he was unable to fully charge it up, but still, that's the Phantom Lancer gone. Miracle dead for 80 seconds. They'll take the courier, and Vici Gaming, they're now the ones pushing. They're the ones on your tier 2, and they are looking for more.
With these 3 tanky cores, it does seem like it's just so hard for Liquid to actually focus fire anyone down. As soon as they get their BKBs off with this high armor.
And now they're on the high ground, but the Fisher block comes out. Paparazzi's been separated, but Mutumamau enrages himself out of the pit. Vici Gaming prioritizing the towers here. Fortification comes out from Liquid.
They're trying to force this buyback.
Mind control. Has to be a little careful if they get the grab, and they do. Ori jumps in with the Dragon Tail. First Fisher comes out for GH. Jump forward to Mutumamau, looking towards Ori, but the BKB comes out. They're trying to move themselves out of this one. The route through the BKB, holding back mind control. He can't chase. Mutumamau's trying. The Rift is going to be out of there. They get everyone out. So they'll back up. They'll retreat Vici Gaming.
As soon as their BKBs go down, they start being very careful, because that's where GH was sitting in the backlines waiting to find the Echo Slam.
I think there as well, we saw GH try for the force play on Paparazzi. Was trying to get Paparazzi out of range of the Rift, but couldn't quite force him far enough. And here's that axe. Let's see where it goes then, Fog. Who is he going to go and give that one to? Keep it on himself for now. We'll see who gets a bit of the old Paparazzi love. As he is also closing in on that 25, so we'll see what he takes there.
Paparazzi's done 40% of his team's
damage.
damage.
That's crazy. That's the power, just constantly having these Radiance Illusions split up.
It is to Fenrir.
It is.
Right.
Oh, some love for the Witch Doctor. I'm happy with that one. Fenrir, he's been having a bit of a rough one. A lot of hate going his way, but now he finally feels the warm, acidic love of the Alchemist.
Works really well, too, versus the Phantom Lancer, because it gives True Strike, so he can clear out those illusions pretty nicely, even if they have the Butterfly.
Okay. Ori, the Shadow Blade, he's looking for Miracle. He's trying to find the real one. Is he going to get the call right? No, Doppelganger's out. Miracle will be able to back up. Jump forward, though. No, he still found him. He gets in, but Mutumamau's there, though. The Fisher from GH disrupting the follow-up for Vici. They'll try with the concoction. But already, Mutumamau getting out of there. Miracle does get sent home. That concoction will still be delivered straight to his head. But they do manage to get out of there. making the space though around the pit. Roshan will be up in a couple of minutes.
It just seems so hard for Liquid to bring down any of these tanky cores, especially when they've got their BKBs on. The Phantom Ledger does not deal that big damage when he's standing inside of the Atrophy Aura at all times.
Absolutely, yeah, this Atrophy Aura, the combination with that, the Crimson Guard, the Greaves, the Pipe, this sort of, the Underlord pick making absolute sense in this context. And again, another one of those heroes that does get questioned quite a few times. We see it come up, but we're seeing 11 push it to the max this game. Looks like Paparazzi back to a bit of shopping for himself before the next axe comes through. Gets himself a nice new pair of shoes as he upgrades to the bots too.
Found himself an Arcane Rune during all that too, so he's going to be able to keep that Chemical Rage active during the next 2 fights. And now, speaking of tanky cores, they just became even tankier. 37 armor on the Dragon Knight.
As we're seeing with that Maelstrom, he's doing damage in these fights, sorry, as you mentioned. That Elder Dragon form level 3, the Maelstrom, once he has the Mjolnir, this PL is going to have a very tough time in these fights. Miracle's illusions will get quickly farmed through. But as we can see, definitely still worth to know how well Miracle is farming. I mean, he's 3k behind an Alchemist. He's on 30k net worth for 45 minutes. Like, that is, again, some pretty insane farm on this PL. We'll see what he goes for next with his itemization. He does have 6k saved up at the moment, Miracle.
I'm wondering if we're going to see Nullifier plays come into play.
Now, Paparazzi, let's due back up to the Aghanims. See who gets a bit of the love next.
Roche is up very soon, 14 seconds.
This game certainly padding out to be the game 3 that we hope for. As at this stage, still 46 minutes in, very hard to call. But if anything, this sort of slow swing around back in favor of Vici Gaming has to be incredibly worrying for Liquid. We're into the pit, Liquid. Vici Gaming fully aware. Can they go in and try for the disrupt? Can they try for the steel play? Paparazzi TPing over. He's ready to join the gang. See, they've got the Fisher coming out. 11 just heading straight into the pit, and because of how big and tanky these heroes are, Liquid is sort of heading out to the side. The mana of 11 getting burnt down by these illusions.
He's down to only 140. He's got Soul Ring and
Ori,
Creeps.
he's found much of mana on the side, but immediately the Enrage there to remove the stun. Paparazzi coming in for the side, has the concoction. Second stun, holds back this Ursa. They'll move forward, trying to focus Miracle. Miracle's trying to finish off Ori. The cast bounce down. There's the death for Ferret, doing so much damage here onto Miracle, but the Echo Slam comes out for GH. They're trying for the turn. There'll be a buyback from Ori. Can they turn this one around? Liquid moving forward. Paparazzi being surrounded, mind control, healing up Miracle there with the life drain. They've got the concoction. Paparazzi, can he fund this setup? Miracle with the doppelganger up to the high ground, will get away. They'll turn for mind control. Mind control also buying back into this one. Paparazzi, he can still see Miracle moving off to the side. He'll turn for the easy kill. Look for Kuroki, but Matuma jumps in. Paparazzi pops the Manta style, trying to keep the distance. Kuroki being kept alive by the defensive death rapid fight, but the stun comes in. Unstable concoction from Paparazzi finishes off the job. Miracle falling very low. Mind control's got to be carefully brought back for this fight. Tries for the Manta style dodge, but it's not there. Miracle gets stunned up by the concoction. Liquid, they've lost 2. There'll be a buyback now coming through from Lanham. BG wanting to maintain control around this pit. As these fights getting thicker and faster, these buybacks coming through. Miracle as well knows that they have to make sure that they get this Roshan.
The ongoing fights, the Chemical Rage just comes back online, and there's just so much sustain coming out on the side of Vici. They're unable to actually bring these heroes down easily.
Absolutely. I mean,
they have to commit so much to just bring down a Dragon Knight.
We saw him hit that 25. He does indeed take that extra regeneration on the Chemical Rage. So he is a huge issue on the front lines of these fights, Paparazzi.
And he's got another Aghanims now.
Who's he going to?
This one I'd imagine is Lana. He's going toward the Underlord though. So that Atrophy Aura bonus is going to come out here.
All
they
right.
take the fights. So if he's able to survive throughout most of those engagements and they take out a few heroes, that bonus damage can be quite nice.
Yeah, that's certainly going to solve any sort of damage issues that Vici Gaming once had. I mean, as we're seeing now, they don't have those problems.
I've never gotten to witness that Aghanims in a pro game.
No, never seen this Ag. So, of course, as you were saying, if anyone's unaware, so grants the bonus damage, half of the bonus damage, but to all your allies. And as we've seen here, it racks up pretty high. So it's sort of in the hundreds sometimes. 100 and such for 11. So having a plus 50 on every hero in the fight, it really is quite something. Mid lane, they get the insta-stun. Miracle needs backup and he needs it straight away. Has the doppelganger down to the low ground. Meteor Hammer won't quite be able to catch him. There's still these fights where both teams a little too scared to enter into the pit. Roshan still stands there for the taking. GH goes for the jump in, Matuma Man there as well. They're focusing this Underlord. Can they kill him in time? He has the Crimson Guard. He has the backup. Fenrir there with the Death Ward as well. BKBs are out for Liquid. Can they kill 11? He's falling solo. Miracle jumps forward with the doppelganger, but they've lost Matuma Man. 11 just walking it off.
Yeah,
There goes Slam for GH, but it's not enough. The pipe's out. The damage resistance from Vici is too high. Nobody is dying on Vici Gaming. They're just too damn tanky. 2 buybacks coming out from Liquid. They're going to go for a second round in this one. On the backlines, Miracle bringing the mana at least very long. Vici Gaming started, but the stun comes through from Paparazzi. He's found the real one. She comes through, stopping the concoction coming out straight away. Paparazzi will still throw it, but the send back there. Miracle's back to base. The creeps, they are doing it. Fortification has to come out from Vici Gaming, and they will start sending members back. Paparazzi's there with the D push.
They're just too damn tanky in these fights, and now with all this atrophy aura built up, they can go into the Roche. This Dragon Knight's hitting for 450 now.
Oh my goodness. The Ag certainly doing big things. Will wear off now though. So Vici Gaming still, despite taking these sort of fights where Liquid are having to spend multiple buybacks just to sort of, I mean, try and stay even, but I say that each fight absolutely going Vici Gaming's way. They're now at a 15k gold lead. It's getting bigger and bigger. GH has to be careful. Look at that fall off from Liquid.
The cores just feel far too tanky. The atrophy aura building it, they don't have that sheer right click. It's only the PL now. Matu just keeps getting
and
controlled.
another Agonyms. You get an Axe, you get an Axe, you get an Axe. Everybody getting an Agonyms. Well, actually, did he sell it? I can't see who's giving it to.
Did it die in the courier?
Oh,
I think it died in the courier.
It died in the courier. All right, he'll get it soon. By then, in a couple of minutes. Vici Gaming now, they themselves go in towards the pit. But look at this actually towards mid. Liquid are seeing if they could try and find someone coming out. I don't think they're aware that Vici Gaming are fully committing for this Roche. And Vici Gaming, they're going to fully get away with it. Aegis, Cheese, and Refresher Shards into the hands of Vici Gaming.
It almost feels like Liquid has to kill the Underlord in these fights, but they just can't. He's far too tanky.
And it almost feels as well, we knew that Liquid, they wanted to end this game.
They did.
And to be fair, because we haven't seen an Alchemist in a while, I didn't really know quite what to expect once we got to this sort of 45-minute plus mark. But this, it's bringing back memories. It's bringing back memories to the point where it's sort of like you're playing against a hero that you just can't beat. It seems almost impossible for Liquid. Can they achieve the impossible in this game? It's going to be quite something. They can go for these huge outplays. They could try for this split push, as we've seen. They have been able to shove creep waves countless times up to the barracks of Vici Gaming. But these head-on fights are becoming nigh on impossible.
Yep. The Ursa is just getting kited way too hard in the fights, unable to actually focus fire anybody. And the long, drawn-out engagements for Vici, they've got an Alchemist with like 150 HP per second inside of the fights, and an Underlord who does not die. It's just getting tougher and tougher, it seems, for Liquid.
Nullifier nearly there for Matumba Man.
That could be the key for them to just isolate a target.
Absolutely. I think, you know, as we've seen, they've wanted to go on 11 each and every time. But these three sort of, all these active items that he has, causing so many issues. If they can take the Underlord out of the fight, they can have a chance. But they need that Nullifier on Matumba. And he's still, he's got the gold for it now. And he's picked it up, so there it is. But now they really do have to rely on perfect execution from Liquid. They have to get the right target to target. Otherwise, they won't stand much of a chance at all. Top lane keeps getting forced in. Paparazzi is there with the hold.
Illusion versus illusion battle.
These towers slowly taking harassment from these illusions. Mind Control actually terrified there, goes for the BKB TP out. Worried that the hunt could have been on. Any sort of stun from either Paparazzi or Ori could have put an end to that sort of push.
Two seconds till the courier respawns, then that Agonyms will be able to get delivered.
And I like this as well. Look at 11.
He's ready for the fights.
He's bringing the mangoes out.
Yeah.
Or did he just sell them? Oh, he sold them.
No, they're in stash.
Oh, no, they're in stash. Okay, he's stashing them up. Those sort of crucial mangoes, as we've seen. In these fights, the illusions from the PL certainly do cause issues. So those mangoes will be the cure for that.
Paparazzi can start even giving moonshots.
Well, they know mind control's there. He's revealed his position there as he goes for the blast onto the wave. They've got vision on him. Paparazzi gets brought in as well. Mind control surrounded. He does not have buyback. Down
seconds.
for 2 minutes.
Yeah, 50 seconds, no buyback. And instantly Miracle just starts pushing out the waves. We see the lines even drawn by mind control to push out the other two side waves.
One of those games. This is going to be one of those 60-minute games.
I mean, it still just feels harder and harder for Liquid to take the fights. They just feel like they have no damage now versus this Underlord.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
And now the DK is starting to actually become that heavy right clicker. About to hit level 25. It's pretty much got Mjolnir finished up. We can assume a Moonshard's going to be given at any moment as well. And the 25s all coming out.
They certainly are. All the cores are going to be hitting that for sure this game. And VG moving down the middle lane. How can Liquid put a hold to this? Ori on the front lines. The buyback will now come out as it does come back off cooldown, as you say, for mind control. Will force VG to hesitate for at least a moment.
They've got their lanes being taken care of though from Paparazzi. What's he going to spend on? That's one Moonshard. He takes it himself. Right, he's satisfied.
Oh, they try for the stun. It's going to be the illusion. So Miracle fine for now. Back up to the high ground. VG ready to push. Paparazzi hasn't got to the chance actually to give out that Aghanims he has. We'll now swap it forward, and as you say, we will imagine that does go the way of Lanham, and you can see Lanham there says, give me that Axe. There we have it. So you got the Axe on Naga as well now. Mid lane push comes in. Matuma tries to jump onto Ori, but the Fish are keeping them the wrong side of one another. They find the concoction onto Matuma in rage, backs off, will be able to save himself from most of the damage. Deathwall gets laid down, but they're keeping the distance. Ori just man fighting at the front, trying to finish off these rags. The fortification comes through, the nullifier out on Ori, but there's the song with the Aghanims heal. Look at this health on this DK. Ori just straight back up to 2/3. Now they're jumping again. Miracle trying to commit, but the rift comes through. 11 is ready to take the land. No, he says we can stick around, but that might have cost them. They've lost the wisdom to NGH. Comes in with the Echo Slam. The Dragon Knight getting so low. Can they kill Ori off? Ori's still alive. They will fight it with a blast. They've taken down the Dragon Knight. Can they get more? Paparazzi looking towards Miracle. Miracle does get stunned up. They're chasing with the Decrep. The life drain from mind control gets cancelled immediately by the Concoction. Buyback come through from Ori. Ori wants to get himself back into this engagement. Concoction being charged up once again by Paparazzi. Turns towards mind control, holds him down. Mind control falling low. They've lost the Ursa for 2 minutes.
Miracle's
Buyback
down.
from Naga Siren. Miracle will buy back. The creeps down bottom are knocking onto the tier 4 towers, but the Naga Siren, Lanham's there with the defense. The rest of VG Gaming can look to go in and finish off these objectives. They'll get the melee racks mid. No Ursa for 100, no GH Shaker for 50 seconds.
The Aegis timed out mid-fight there on Ori. Otherwise, he could have actually survived a bit longer, but it doesn't matter. They know that the Earthshaker's dead. They know that the Ursa's down for 90 as well. They can go for the second set.
They absolutely can. Look at the damage coming out from these three beefy boys. Look at the stun out. They're trying, but Miracle is caught in the center of it all. The BKB's out from Ori. There's the buyback. Matuma has the buyback now available. The sandbag's there from Kuro, but it will cost him his life. Kuro has been self-degraped by no mind control. Buys time for the save. Matuma jumps in the midst of it all, gets the nullifier out to 11, but Ori's back from the Shadow Blade. Turns towards this Matuma Ursa has the stun, gets the kill. Mukuro will buy back, but then now lost. Matuma off the back of a dieback. Miracle goes on to this Alchemist. The life drain's enough. They'll get the Alchemist, but buyback immediately from Paparazzi. The song from Lanham, holding them in place. Mind control gets the BKB off. Miracle trying to get himself back to base, but the stuns holding down this BL. The 4-staff for Kuro gets him back into safety. The Fisher out onto 2. Kuro dying in the fountain here from Paparazzi as he dives in. They've lost 3, but Miracle is going for the base race. He's onto the tier 4. Surely he can't do it in time though. The speed of VG Gaming is taking this base is surely too much for Liquid. Miracle will find the tier 4s, but the base of Liquid's falling. GH is going in for the plays, but the quick, that smooth Dragon Tail has already stands to the side. They get the game. VG Gaming will be your first grand finalist here at ESL 1 Katowice.
At the end of the fight there, they're hitting the throne and everybody has plus 200 damage because that Aghanim's Underlord. He had plus 395 on himself, so everybody else has plus about 190. Oh my god, I can't believe that VG was able to hold off so long. With their tanky cores making these fights last so long, this Underlord just became absolutely unkillable.
Absolutely, and now winning with this Alchemist, I sort of questioned, I said, what does it offer? And then Paparazzi came and gave me the show of a lifetime. These Aghanims purchases, this sort of build up to this point where VG Gaming's cause, as we said, they just could not die in the fight. The sustain was ridiculous. They were too darn massive. Liquid could barely even damage them at all.
Yeah, they couldn't get the lockdown through the BKBs for a while. Then they started getting some solutions for that. But then it became to a point where the Underlord is just like, I've got Crimson Guard, I've got Atrophy Aura. PL isn't able to focus fire anybody because of that. Then the Aghanims start to build up, like you said. That Underlord Aghanim is actually giving them so much damage in that last fight.
Absolutely incredible performance from VG Gaming. There's nothing less to sort of say about that. To be able to defeat Liquid not only once on LAN, but twice, and here on the main stage in front of a fantastic audience as they get themselves towards the grand finals. And they do it with an Alchemist. I mean, are we going to see more Alchemists off the back of this, Fog? That's the question.
They've played it in the past, right? Paparazzi has played it before, and they definitely had a strategy for it. But to me, the crucial one for me was definitely the Alchemist, but this Underlord. I mean, 11 on this hero. People were saying that this hero sometimes doesn't have a fit in the game. This time, though, you could see that damage resistance was absurd.
Absolutely. That itemization from 11, absolutely perfect. So many players on here that are really trying their best to fight for that MVP award as VG Gaming's lineup looking unstoppable. They've made it to the finals as they will knock Liquid down out of this run 2-1 here in the semis.
If I ever have the cojones to have a tattoo, I'm going to have the tattoo too damn tanky somewhere in my body. I'm going to chat to 11 now. I mean, that was some matchup. First off, right at the end there, talk us through it, because that was just a tear-up.
那恭喜你们击败了 Liquid。那最后一盘的时候，你是什么感受的呢？
感受肯定是很激动的呀，毕竟又一次进决赛了。
I feel really, really excited. The last game was amazing, and I feel happy to have been playing in the grand finals again.
Well, he will be. They will be going through to the grand finals, the first of our finalists to play tomorrow here in Katowice. Just ask him what it's like taking on Liquid. They're a team that have had this unbelievable run of top 4 finishes. They've now broken it. How do you approach taking on Liquid?
那你觉得对阵 Liquid 这个队伍，反正毕竟他们也是 TI7 的冠军，那你觉得对阵他们，你是有什么特别的准备或感受吗？
我没有什么特别的感觉，只是。 确实，李逵作为 TI7 冠军，一直到现在状态、实力都很强，很想战胜他们，战胜他们来证明自己。
I don't want to say that I feel anything special, but of course, being the TI7 champions, you feel a bit of respect for them, and they have been very consistent so far. So I feel excited.
Okay, final question here, and that is, who does he think they'll be playing tomorrow in the grand final?
那你预料明天会对阵哪一队伍呢？
我觉得不出大的意外的话，应该是 VP 战队吧。
I think it's VP.
He thinks it's going to be VP. Thank you, 11. Bonnie, thank you so much. How do I say GG in Mandarin?
GG.
Oh, GG. Congratulations. Fabulous win there. They go through to the grand final. They take out Liquid as well, which means we just got one more matchup today. That is our second semi-finalist to find out who are playing VG Gaming. We'll get into that. We'll look back at this game and look forward to the next after this short break.
Just throw lances on the Naga to burn the mana down so they can't do the disengage with the Song of the Siren.
Now, they'll look straight towards the Alchemist. They've got the magical damage. Echo Slam comes in for GH, but Paparazzi's still alive. The pipe buying him time to turn. Turns, looks towards Matuma Man. They've taken down the Ursa once. The root's out onto GH Maledix as well. Miracle chasing down Ori in the sidelines, but the Song comes through. Lanham holding back the side of Liquid, giving VG chance to disengage, get themselves out of there after taking the Aegis out. But Matuma Man wants the fight still going. GH finds the 2-man push for Fisher. They've got the slow onto Ori, but they turn. Matuma Man stuck underneath the tower.